Chapter 103. Chapter 103. I won't give you a penny less. Manager Wong, I don't need to look at the model. I trust Royal Group's mansions 100%. Just so I don't waste your precious time, I think you should just choose one for me. If you recommend it, I'll surely be satisfied. This ass-kissery was originally spot on, but since Qin Feng was there, this ass-kissing was ill-timed. Wang Jun was afraid that Qin Feng would think he was susceptible to bribery. If Qin Feng told the chairman, there'd be trouble. He now suspected that Chairman Qin placed Qin Feng in the company, and as a sales representative no less, without worry because there must be some sort of surveillance planted to keep an eye on Royal Group's management. How could Wang Jun dare get friendly with customers in front of Qin Feng? Thus, he immediately shook his head solemnly. No, you choose yourself. I'm much older and my taste is different from yours. Sun Yi realized that it would be hard to kiss Manager Wang's ass, but he persisted. Manager Wang is too humble. If you didn't say that, I would have thought you were younger than me. You don't look a day over 20. I trust that your taste is better than mine. That's right, Manager Wang. You're so handsome and talented. In this society, few are as outstanding as you. Wang Ying added, contributing to Sun Ye's ass-kissery. As the saying goes, other things may fail, but ass-kissing never does. But everything depends on timing. For example, if you try and flatter a horse by patting its buttocks when the horse is tired, it will surely kick you. At this time, Manager Wang wanted to kick Sun Yi to death. He clearly expressed that he didn't want to deal with the guy, but Sun Yi kept kissing his ass. Wang Jun was frustrated. Then, when his eyes fell on Qin Feng, they brightened. He saw that right from the beginning, Sun Yi was giving Qin Feng a hard time. This guy that doesn't know his place should just be handled by young Master Qin directly. Qin Feng, as a new sales representative, you don't have achievements on your belt yet. But I see that you're always hardworking, so I'll give you this project. What do you think? After this was said, 3 pairs of eyes fell on Qin Feng. He was currently holding Li Yuqin's jade hand and arm wrestling with her. But this clearly wasn't an actual arm wrestling mob because both of Qin Feng's hands held Li Yuqin's jade hand, and he also placed his nose on her hand as well. He looked intoxicated by its fragrance. Qin Feng, Manager Wang is asking you something? The gazes all assembled at the same place. Li Yuqin was so embarrassed that her whole face turned red. She immediately tugged her hand away from Qin Feng and pushed him lightly. Qin Feng regained his senses. Manager Wang, you had something to ask me? Qin Feng asked without a hint of embarrassment. Wang Jun was so shocked that he broke into a cold sweat. He had always heard that young Master Qin was dissolute, uninhibitedly hedonistic, and loved beauties. Seeing that he interfered with his courting of a woman, Wang Jun was afraid that Qin Feng would flip out right then and there. Qin Feng, Manager Wang has a big heart and cherishes his subordinates, so he willingly allowed you to handle the business talks for this project. You have such a good leader, you must have luck cultivated by 8 lives. Wang Jun didn't even say he was going to back out of the talks yet when Sun Ye's ass-kissery made a comeback. This time, Qin Feng heard everything clearly and said with a laugh, since Manager Wang looks so kindly upon me, then I must live up to the expectations. Tell me, which house model of the Cloud City Hua Manor caught your eye? Our new mansions are all quite expensive. If you can't afford it, then don't waste my arm wrestling time. Piss it. I can't afford it? I'm laughing so hard that I'll laugh my front teeth out. Dearest, let's buy the most expensive model so this brat can grow some eyes. Wang Ying said as she glared hatefully at Qin Feng. Even if Wang Ying didn't say anything, Sun Yi was already prepared to buy the most expensive model. After buying this villa, the salesperson would have hundreds of thousands in commission. After getting this money, it would naturally be easy to form a closer relationship with Wang Jun, which would subsequently allow for a chance to work closely with Royal Group. All right, we'll choose the most expensive model. It doesn't matter which building or which district it's in. Sun Yi waved his hand dismissively. When he spoke, he purposefully eyed Li Yuqin. Okay, the two of you truly are rich. Let me see. Model A, the most expensive one. All right, then Building 4 in District 4 by the parking lot is a good choice. 4 is a really auspicious number. What do you think? Qin Feng looked at the two with a jolly smile. Sun Yi suppressed his anger with all his might. Though he was really unhappy with the number, he had just said none of it mattered. If he made a fuss about it now, he might give Wang Jun a bad impression of him. Thus, he gritted his teeth and said, "All right, we'll take it. Mr. Sun really has great taste." The Building 4 District 4 Villa is the most unique house of the Cloud City Hua Manor. Because it's close to the parking lot, the garden area in front of the villa was eliminated to become a main road. The backyard has also been sectioned off to become the trash area. Also, the villa is in the best location, the entrance of the west side door. Whether it's night or day, it's always bustling. The two of you will never be lonely when living there. In the morning, you won't need to set an alarm because you'll certainly be awoken by the noise outside. Due to this villa's many specialties, it's the ideal mansion that countless customers are fighting over. Thus, it's twice as expensive as the other villas. But, seeing how sincere the two of you are in coming personally to request Building 4 of District 4, I'll give you a discount. The calculations come up to 15,059,922 silver yuan. But, our royal group was never a petty company. So, how about this? I'll get rid of the small change and charge you 15,059,920 silver yuan. Once Qin Feng started talking, he couldn't stop. He fired out his words like a string of pearls. Even the usually cold and strong Liu Chen couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. Wang Jun stood at the back and also wanted to laugh, but he didn't dare to do so. He could only use his strength to keep his face in check to preserve a cold and serious expression. Sun Yi and Wang Ying were dumbfounded for a good while before they regained their senses. Wang Ying was so angry that her face was black. She clenched her teeth and said, "Let's not talk about getting rid of a mere 2 yuan, okay? Also, I've already inquired about the price of the villa. It's around 8 million. You're giving us a faulty villa that doesn't even have a front or backyard, and you dare charge us over 15 million? You're clearly a poor thing that thinks so much about money that you've gone crazy." Qin Feng didn't get mad. On the contrary, he had a look of seriousness. "All right, since you don't want to get rid of the 2 yuan, then I'll give it to you at the original price of 15,059,922 yuan. I don't get it. How are you rich people so generous? As for the price of the villa, it's non-negotiable. You just said that our royal group is selling faulty villas? Well, then you can go look for better ones elsewhere." Sun Ye's expression already grew cold, but he still couldn't drop his facade. On the other hand, he glared at Wang Ying and lectured. "How can you say that? Royal group selling faulty villas? If you're going to talk nonsense, then get the hell out of here." After yelling at Wang Ying, Sun Yi put on a smile and looked at Wang Jun. "Manager Wang, I like this villa, but you can also see that this new sales representative clearly isn't making an effort to discuss business. He's making extremely unreasonable demands. If all of the sales representatives in Royal Group acted like him, then this company would have been shut down long ago." Right from the beginning, Sun Yi thought Qin Feng was an eyesore. With these words, he vented out all of the anger he was suppressing. In an instant, he felt much better, and the air became fresh again. However, the anger Wang Jun was suppressing in his body already exploded. He took a deep breath and walked up to Sun Yi. He glared imposingly at Sun Yi and said seriously, "Mr. Sun, I actually think that an employee like Qin Feng is a rare talent in our company. He really knows how to talk about prices, and he can clearly understand the hearts of his clientele. Every point of his analysis is extremely apt. He has great speaking skills, and he's quick-witted. I'm proud that our company has a sales representative like him." And he's right. Building 4 of District 4's villa is really unique, so its price is twice as high. If you two accept, then sign the contract. If you can't accept it, our royal group has plenty of customers. We aren't worried that we can't sell our houses. If there's nothing else, please leave. We still have a lot of important things to do. We don't have time to continue wasting with you." Wang Jun's words placed Wang Ying and Sun Yi in a trance. They felt as though they had either forgotten or missed out on something. Here was a villa without a front or backyard, and they were confidently requesting double the price for it. What's more, they were acting like doubling the price wasn't enough and would make Royal Group suffer losses. Sun Yi felt that the world had gone crazy, so he felt that he had to be even crazier to adapt to society. He gritted his teeth and yelled, "Deal, 15,059,922 yuan." Then, he exuberantly walked up to Wang Jun and shook his hand firmly. His eyes brimmed with tears as he said, "Manager Wang, I really am too grateful to you for saving me such a great house model. When you have time, I must treat you to a meal. When the time comes, you must do me the favor of accepting." Wang Jun felt embarrassed seeing Sun Yi thank him when he was conned 8 million yuan. He cleared his throat. "Ahem, you should thank Qin Feng. He was the one that recommended this house model." Sun Ye's eyes flashed with annoyance, but quickly became peaceful again. He looked at Qin Feng with a smile. "Qin Feng, I need to thank you as well. I'll look for you the next time I buy a house as well." "Okay. Royal Group invites people like you spendthrifts with too much money to visit often," Qin Feng said casually. The contract was signed and the down payment was paid. Even after Wang Ying and Sun Yi were sent out of her office, Li Yuchun still hadn't regained her senses. Qin Feng had just sold Cloud City Hua Manor's most problematic and difficult-to-sell villa for double the price. Chapter 104. Chapter 104. When there's time, I'll teach you to play the flute. Wang Ying held onto Sun Ye's arm and walked out of the sales department lobby with her head held high. "Dearest, we were cheated 8 million yuan. Why were you so moved that you cried? Don't tell me they have you all confused?" Sun Yi shoved Wang Ying away. Every time they went to the royal group and saw the unusually beautiful Li Yuchun, he felt like crying when he looked at the Wang Ying in his arms afterwards. He roared furiously, "I'm freaking crying because my heart aches. Qin Feng, you wait for me, you brat. How dare you scam me? You better wow out." "Qin Feng, I really didn't misjudge you. If all sales representatives were as capable as you, Royal Group's achievements could really double this year." After Sun Yi and Wang Ying left, it was time for Wang Jun to kiss Qin Feng's ass. "Manager Li, you saw Qin Feng's ability just now. In the future, you have to cultivate him well in the sales department. Don't allow this talent to be buried. Also, we'll give Qin Feng credit for Cloud City Hua Manor's Building 4 of District 4. You don't have any opinions regarding that, do you?" "I do not." Since Wang Jun had spoken, how could Li Yuchun have any opinions? Plus, due to Qin Feng's work, she finally suppressed Wang Ying for once. Li Yuchun was in a great mood. She even looked at Qin Feng with a tender expression. This was quite a contrast from the icy, knife-like glares she used to give him. "Okay, then I'll go take care of my business." Wang Jun hurriedly left Li Yuchun's office once he saw the irritated look in Qin Feng's eyes. He knew that young Master Qin was about to start courting a woman again. "Manager Li, hurry and put on the stockings I got you. I want to see if they fit." Qin Feng noticed that Han Ying and Li Yuchun's figures and heights were quite similar, so the stockings should fit, but he wanted to see for himself. Li Yuchun just got her expression in check, but it immediately froze again. "Qin Feng, get out." "Oh, so Manager Li is shy? I can go outside. When you're done changing, let me know." Li Yuchun's lips tightened. She stared at Qin Feng. "What I mean is, I'm not wearing those stockings." Qin Feng suddenly ran before Li Yuchun's work desk in excitement. He pulled the black fishnet stockings from the drawer, squatted, and began removing Li Yuchun's high heels. "What are you doing?" Li Yuchun jumped and stepped backwards to place a safe distance between her and Qin Feng. "Manager Li, didn't you say you don't know how to wear these fishnet stockings? How coincidental. I know how to put them on. I can help you." Qin Feng looked innocently at Li Yuchun. Li Yuchun wanted to chew Qin Feng to pieces. She took a deep breath and suppressed her anger. "Qin Feng, what I meant is, I don't want the stockings you brought. Either take them back or throw them away. Do you understand now?" "I get it. So Manager Li likes being bare." "What did you say?" Two laser beams shot out of Li Yuchun's eyes. "Bar, into your legs." Qin Feng finished what he was saying. Li Yuchun was at the edge of explosion. Then, she looked Qin Feng with complete seriousness. "Qin Feng, what's your relationship with Wang Jun?" "Co-worker." "And? What else?"
There's nothing else.
Really? Nothing? Qin Feng thought for a good while and then replied, either way, we're certainly not gay lovers. Liu Qin gritted her teeth and continued. Then what is your relationship with the Qin family? Well, of course I'm a grandson of the Qin family. What? You're a grandson of the Qin family? You're Qin Huang's son? Liu Chun excitedly grabbed Qin Feng's hand. And you're Qin Huang's daughter, Qin Feng replied unhappily. Then why did you say you were a grandson of the Qin family? Liu Chun became calm again as she stared at Qin Feng. My last name is Qin. Of course I'm a grandson of the Qin family. Then what about you? How are you related to the Li family? Liu Chun was defeated. She originally wanted to see Qin Feng and see how he was related to the Qin family. If he was related, she could get him to introduce her to young Master Qin. This way, she'd soon be able to realize her mother's dreams of marrying into a rich family. Okay, leave. I need to work. Drained, Liu Chun sat on her chair with some disappointment. Qin Feng didn't bother Liu Chun any longer. Since this last was about to discover his true identity, he thought it would be better to hide outside first. That afternoon, Qin Feng collapsed on his desk and fell asleep. Su Ruoro only woke him up when work was over. The two left the workplace together. Qin Feng rode his 28 bicycle and Su Ruoro sat relaxedly on it. Not long later, they arrived at the Qin manor. Qin Feng, I'll go shower first. After showering, bring me to young Master Qin's room and I'll clean it up. I'm here to be young Master Qin's housekeeper. How can I not do anything? Once they got to the Qin manor, Su Ruoro ran to her room to grab a change of clothes so she could shower. In the end, she was still a kind and responsible lady. She would never accept money if she didn't work. Half an hour later, there was a knock on Qin Feng's door. He opened the door to see Su Ruoro standing outside. It was clear that Su Ruoro had just showered because she had changed into simple pink pajamas with Chibi Murako-chan drawings on them. The pajamas were loose and the bottom of the dress fell to her knees, exposing a bit of fresh, tender, and lotus-like skin. Her hair was still wet and splayed across her shoulders, covering her slender white neck. The current Su Ruoro was makeup-free, but she was still as beautiful and pure as before. It made one's heart beat. Qin Feng, take me to young Master Qin's room so I can clean it. Su Ruoro's head was half upturned, and she looked at Qin Feng with a sweet and beautiful smile. She now regarded Qin Feng as someone really close to her. When she was with him, she didn't get nervous anymore. Ruoro, go to your room first. I'll help you blow-dry your hair so you don't get a cold. Qin Feng touched Su Ruoro's wet hair and brought her back to her room. Since she moved in, this was the first time Qin Feng entered her room. The inside was permeated with her scent. The room was neat, the windows were scrubbed spotless, the floor was clean, and her desk was clean and neat as well. She was a really clean and diligent woman. Qin Feng, I can blow-dry it myself. Why you go outside and wait for me, okay? Su Ruoro was clearly a bit bashful about a man entering her room. Qin Feng furrowed his brows and became serious. No, if I go, how would you blow? Su Ruoro clearly didn't understand Qin Feng's meaning. She stared at him blankly. I usually blow-dry my own hair. I can do it. Oh, you're talking about blow-drying your hair. Haha. Seems that I misunderstood. Qin Feng knew this, but still asked, then what did you think was going to be blown? Su Ruoro lifted her face and looked at Qin Feng earnestly. When there's time, I'll teach you to play the flute, Qin Feng said after thinking a bit. Chapter 105. Chapter 105. You called me? You can play the flute? That's great. I love musical instruments. When you're free, you definitely need to teach me. Don't lie now. Su Ruoro jumped happily. Qin Feng's lips tweaked. He sat at the edge of Su Ruoro's bed and his eyes suddenly gleamed. At the head of the bed sat a small pair of underpants and a little bra. It was clearly left over from when Su Ruoro changed her clothes for her shower. It was a set of black, chiffon undergarments that were close-fitting, delicate, and protected the skin. Qin Feng swept them up into his hand and examined them. Qin Feng, hurry and give them back. When Su Ruoro saw this, Her face immediately turned completely red. She went over to Qin Feng and tried to get her undergarments back. Qin Feng twisted his body and ran out the door. Ruoro, hurry and dry your hair. I'll go and help you dry your undergarments in the sun. Su Ruoro's head drooped, and her face was impossibly red. In the end, she didn't have the courage to chase Qin Feng. She thought to herself that she couldn't keep those undergarments anymore. Qin Feng ran out of Su Ruoro's room and arrived at the balcony. Under the warm light, he appreciatively examined the delicate undergarments. He suddenly realized that the underpants had a small dot on it. His heart beat furiously. Could it be? He brought his face closer to the dot and looked at it more closely. He then realized that it was actually the underwear's original dotted pattern. It appears that he was overthinking it. Ruoro was such a pure and simple girl. How could she? Qin Feng, what are you doing? Qin Feng was tugged out of his stupor by this surprised exclamation. He turned and saw Han Ying standing behind him dressed in a fiery red qipao. Her beautiful red phoenix eyes paired with the light purple eyeshadow she put on her eyelids were exceedingly attractive. At this time, they were fixed on the underpants in Qin Feng's hand. She cried in alarm. Qin Feng, why you even have this strange hobby of secretly taking Su Ruoro's undergarments and hiding to sniff them? Suddenly, she remembered that Qin Feng was in her villa this morning and stole her stockings. Qin Feng, I don't want that pair of stockings anymore. Don't you dare give them back to me. Han Ying had originally come to chat with Qin Feng, but when she saw this scene, she felt a chill run through her body. She immediately ran downstairs and back to her own villa. Did I smell it? I didn't. Qin Feng put on an innocent expression, stuck the underwear to the tip of his nose, and gave a harsh sniff. Now that is what you call vulgar and secretly sniffing, okay? After throwing his tantrum, he nonchalantly hung the undergarments on the clothes-drying rack. He purposely stuck the small underpants right next to his own large underpants. Satisfied, he returned to Su Ruoro's room. At this time, Su Ruoro was almost done blow-drying her hair. She saw Qin Feng enter her room, and the red hadn't completely disappeared from her face. She didn't dare think about what Qin Feng had done to her undergarments during the time that elapsed. Qin Feng, I'm done. Take me to young Master Qin's room. Okay, let's go. Qin Feng didn't bring Su Ruoro to young Master Qin's bedroom because that was his bedroom and his secret would be exposed if he did so. Thus, the two arrived at the study where Qin Huang usually drank tea and did his work. Qin Feng, where are we? Any study in the Qin manor was 50 square meters. Su Ruoro was a bit pleasantly surprised to see row upon row of ancient-smelling and ancient-looking bookshelves and cowhide scrolls. This is where young Master Qin reads, writes, paints, and recites poetry. After thinking a bit, Qin Feng added, of course, in the future, I can teach you to play the flute here. Wow, it seems that I've really misunderstood young Master Qin in the past. I wonder how he's doing in the mountainous region right now. He really is my idol. Su Ruoro just graduated and was still a young and naive girl. She had no ability to resist this kind of young scholar brimming with literary talent. It isn't the first time he's gone to teach in the mountainous regions, so don't worry, he's doing great. Qin Feng pinched Su Ruoro's face. So let's start cleaning now. Su Ruoro really liked this charming study. She immediately found a feather duster and began to carefully clean the bookshelves. She was an extremely earnest worker and was so detailed that she made sure to clean every nook and cranny. On the other hand, Qin Feng sat in front of the desk and weighed Su Ruoro squatting on the floor. He could see the splendid view through the wide collar of her shirt. Qin Feng, I'm pretty much done cleaning the bottom, but what should we do about the top? Su Ruoro smiled at Qin Feng and wiped the small beads of sweat on her forehead with the back of her hand. Qin Feng felt it was a pity to make Su Ruoro do this kind of manual labor, so he was going to pretend that the cleaning was done. He was about to take her back to her room when his eyes gleamed. He promptly ran to the closet and brought back a small ladder. Ruoro, you can clean the dust at the top if you climb this ladder. This is kind of dangerous though, so why don't I help you? Qin Feng, thank you, but I'll do it myself. This is what I should do. How about this? You can hold the bottom of the ladder for support. I'm afraid I might fall down. Okay. Qin Feng responded with exceptional glee. His smile the evil smile of someone who achieved their dishonorable plans. Su Ruoro was dumbly unaware of this. She already removed her shoes, baring her little feet, and slowly climbed up the ladder. Qin Feng immediately extended his neck and looked upwards. He was suddenly struck with a bit of an unnamed disappointment. She was actually wearing safety shorts. But that pair of eye-catching white legs was still very alluring. Qin Feng, I'm done cleaning the top. Let me down and we'll take the ladder over there. Huh. Qin Feng, why is your nose bleeding? Are you okay? Su Ruoro's expression changed completely and she promptly climbed down the ladder, found a tissue, and helped Qin Feng wipe away the blood on his nose. Qin Feng took the opportunity to get closer into Su Ruoro's embrace. It's been too hot lately. I think I got a bit of a heat stroke. Then quickly go back to your room and rest. I'll clean the rest on my own. Su Ruoro said worriedly. Qin Feng immediately regained his energy. How could I do that? I can't let you clean on your own. That's really dangerous. As he said this, Qin Feng moved the ladder to another spot. Come Ruoro, I'll protect you from the bottom. Su Ruoro was moved. She blushed and climbed up the ladder. Like before, she cleaned very carefully. Qin Feng also looked very earnestly. A good while later, Su Ruoro finished wiping all of the dust and looked downwards. She suddenly noticed that Qin Feng was missing. Qin Feng, Qin Feng. Su Ruoro called his name. Qin Feng instantly stuck his head out from under Su Ruoro's nightgown. He looked at her uncertainly. Ruoro, you called me? Su Ruoro was so embarrassed that she wanted to find a hole and hide in it. She said angrily, Where are you looking, pervert? I'm not playing with you anymore. With a huff, Su Ruoro stepped down the ladder and wanted to leave the study. She thought Qin Feng was too perverted and would distance herself from him in the future. Then, she remembered that young Master Qin urged her to learn closely from Qin Feng. At that instant, Su Ruoro found herself in a dilemma. Chapter 106. Chapter 106. Please call me by my formal name. Pikachu. Qin Feng put the ladder back and was about to chase after Su Ruoro when he heard Pikachu's voice in his head. After the incident where Black Turtle ate the fish, he locked his two battle pets in the Hedonist sovereign system. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth quirked. He suddenly realized that the biggest issue here was that Pikachu was anxiously bouncing about, but Qin Feng had no clue what he was jabbering on about. Master, Pikachu said you should quickly let him out. He wants to scare Su Ruoro, get into her pajamas, and have you CA him. Little Pig's sneering voice rang out. Qin Feng was so excited that he promptly jumped up. When drinking with an intimate friend, even 1,000 glasses are too few. Pikachu, I've decided that after this incident is over, we should become sworn brothers. With a thought from Qin Feng, Pikachu ran out of the system. Then, Qin Feng felt a gust of wind and saw a shadow flit by before disappearing in a flash. Next came Su Ruoro's scream. She was so scared that she lost her head and ran back to the study. Qin Feng, there's a mouse. A really big mouse. Qin Feng immediately became serious and ran to tug on Su Ruoro's arm. Mouse? Where's the mouse? Little sister Ruoro, I'm here, so no mouse can harm you. Su Ruoro was scared to death. It was the first time she'd seen a mouse as large as a cat in her life. She was currently leaning into Qin Feng's embrace and could partially release the breath she was holding, but her wildly beating heart hadn't completely calmed down. She suddenly felt something clinging to her thigh. She was so shocked that she immediately jumped. Qin Feng, the mouse is on my thigh. A flash of evil flitted through Qin Feng's eyes. He put on a serious expression, squatted, and reached under her skirt. Ruoro, don't be afraid. I can see the big mouse and I'm going to see it now. He stuck his hand in to grab, but he wasn't grabbing Pikachu. He was grabbing randomly. Qin Feng, are you done? It seems to have run to my stomach. Stomach? Okay, I'm going. After touching her thigh, he assaulted her small waist. Oh no, Qin Feng, It's on my chest. Qin Feng was laughing so hard that he couldn't speak. He unhesitatingly extended his hand and gave a squeeze. The bounciness was 10 out of 10. Su Ruoro was about to go crazy. She was forced to her wit's end. She harshly reached in, grabbed Pikachu, and pulled him out of her collar. She was about to toss him out of the third-floor window when Qin Feng hurriedly grabbed him. Pikachu. Pikachu looked innocently at Su Ruoro. When he saw her furious expression, it was too bad he couldn't speak human speech. If he could, he'd definitely sell out Qin Feng. This was the first time Su Ruoro saw Pikachu clearly and completely. Her originally tightly creased eyebrows slowly relaxed, and she ended up smiling brightly. Anyone who saw a pet as cute as Pikachu would not be able to throw a tantrum. Wow, this thing looks a lot like Pikachu. Is this your pet? Yeah, his name is Pikachu. I didn't expect my pet to be the thing that scared you. I'm so sorry about what happened. This plan was really despicable, and even Qin Feng felt bad. When Su Ruoro thought back to the messy scene that just occurred, her face turned completely red. But she didn't get mad at Qin Feng. In her eyes, Qin Feng was really trying to help her. This pet is really cute. Can I raise it for 2 days? Of course you can, Qin Feng responded. Then, he said to Pikachu, Pikachu, from now on, Ruoro is your second owner. While you're by her side, you have to listen to her, okay? Pikachu. Another weekend came, and Acropolis University's campus became a ghost town. At this time of their youth, the college students were either weighing movies or renting rooms to exercise in. A tall, slender shadow of a beautiful woman walked lonesomely on the sports field of the campus. She looked at the empty field. It echoed the boundless loneliness in her heart. Lin Bei could still clearly recall how not long ago, on this sports field, Qin Feng first displayed a change when he incessantly persevered and ran around the track. Practically half of Acropolis University's student population was gathered here. That explosive and extraordinary scene and the bright and beautiful sunlight seemed so close, but was out of grasp. Since Qin Feng left, Lin Bei's mood became cold and unhappy. It seemed that the whole Acropolis University grew quiet. Qin Feng's lecherous gazes were gone. His jokes that made one's ears redden were gone, and his habit of getting handsy was also gone. When one's heart is filled with someone and that someone disappears, the whole world disappears as well. Lin Bei didn't know when she began liking Qin Feng. All she knew was that Qin Feng gave her 100,000 yuan to help her mom get better. He even helped her solve the issue with the demolishment of her house and helped organize Royal Clubhouse's most luxurious presidential suite for her to stay in. Then he was gone. Thus, Lin Bei had started to think of him every day, and also thought of him for increasingly longer periods of time. She didn't know why Qin Feng left without saying anything to her. Did she have no place in his heart? What's more, she had no idea whether or not Qin Feng would be returning to school. Maybe she was just a passing guest in Qin Feng's life. The idiotic plots and television dramas regarding a poor, pitiful girl and a hedonistic young master would never result in a happy ending in real life. Lin Bei. A low, robust voice rang from behind Lin Bei. She jumped in shock, hurriedly wiped the tears at the corner of her eyes, and turned to see Yuan Xiang running over with a smile. Young master Yu. Lin Bei nodded politely. Bei, school's is over. Why are you still here? Yuan Xiang knew the answer, but he still asked. For the past couple of days, he had people following Lin Bei, so he naturally knew her whereabouts like the back of his hand. Since Qin Feng suddenly stopped going to school, and at the same time, Yuan Xiang secluded himself and trained hard, he'd already broken the fourth limit of his body. He still remembered the impending fight to the death with Qin Feng. He was prepared to get Lin Bei in bed while Qin Feng wasn't here and deal with Qin Feng after. Why you should call me by my formal name, Lin Bei. Ever since Qin Feng appeared in her heart, Lin Bei felt that her nickname belonged to Qin Feng only. No one else could call her this. The coldness in Yuan Xiang's eyes flitted away. He smiled. Bei, we've been classmates for almost 2 years. There's no need to be so polite. Lin Bei's pretty face fell. She was a bit unhappy. She knew that there was conflict between Yuan Xiang and Qin Feng, so she really didn't want to continue interacting with him. Young Master Yu, I have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. Lin Bei turned to leave, but Yuan Xiang blocked her. Bei, where are you going? I'll take you. There's no need for that. I can go home myself. Lin Bei knitted her long, shapely eyebrows. Her distaste for Yuan Xiang continued to grow. She just told him not to go around calling her Bei. Did this guy not grow any ears? Lin Bei stepped around Yuan Xiang and walked more quickly. Yuan Xiang's expression sank. Suddenly, he pounced at Lin Bei and grabbed her arm. Bei, school's out. Why are you going home? Why don't I take you to see a movie? And at night, we can eat a banquet together. How does that sound? Lin Bei jumped in fright. She flung Yuan Xiang's arm away like her life depended on it. Though she was like the weak and sickly Lin Daiyu, this time, she was enraged. She stared coldly at Yuan Xiang. Yuan Xiang, please show some respect. Don't touch me. I don't have any sort of relationship with you. If you want to see a movie, find another girl. After saying this, Lin Bei walked away furiously. She felt wronged. If young Master Qin was still at school, no one would dare make a move on her. Even if they had any wayward intents, they would never have the guts to show them. Yuan Xiang's gentlemanly mask was completely torn off. He was young Master Yu of Acropolis University's 4 young masters. Was it really this troublesome to play around with a girl? His patience ran out. Whether it be the hard way or the nice way, he had to get Lin Bei today no matter what. Suddenly, Yuan Xiang's eyes flashed a faint green. He rushed towards Lin Bei like a hungry and thirsty wild beast and hugged her from behind. Yuan Xiang tyrannically and barbarically carried Lin Bei. He decided to drag her to the small forest behind the sports field. When Lin Bei discovered this, she struggled like she had gone crazy. However, she was too weak and couldn't struggle free. You beast, let go of me. Help, someone help. Lin Bei saw that they were about to enter the small forest, and tears sprang from her eyes. She already thought this through. If the beast Yuan Xiang was going to do something to her, she would kill him first, then commit suicide. Stinking woman, I tried to give you some face, but you didn't want any, and you're freaking yelling. In a bit, I'll whip you to death with my belt. After entering the forest, Yuan Xiang's face was even more sinister. His usual gentlemanly facade was gone. He had already extended his hand to tear Lin Bei's clothes. Yuan Xiang, I hope you know what you're doing. If you really do anything to me, young Master Qin will never let you go. In this moment of danger, Lin Bei couldn't help but use Qin Feng to pressure Yuan Xiang. She knew that Acropolis City was the Qin family's territory. Though Yuan Xiang's family was also very illustrious, they were still people of Jincheng City. This was why when Qin Feng was still at school in the past, he didn't dare make a move on Lin Bei. But at this time, Yuan Xiang's body was already burning with lust. He couldn't care less about Qin Feng's powerful name. On the contrary, he became even crazier. Fuck, you dare use that blockhead Qin Feng to try and suppress me? Exasperated, Yuan Xiang slapped Lin Bei's face. A sliver of blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. First I'm going to do you until I'm satisfied, and I'll go cause trouble for Qin Feng. Then, I'll do you in front of him and see what he can do to me. Lin Bei's face stung like fire. Her eyes brimmed with tears, but she clenched her teeth and refused to let them fall. She stared coldly at Yuan Xiang, who pounced towards her. Lin Bei? Suddenly, a voice yelled from the sports field. It was a female voice, and it was calling Lin Bei's name. Lin Bei's pretty eyes brightened, and she immediately screamed in response. I'm in the small forest. Help me. Hurry and help me. Chapter 107. Chapter 107. It's almost up to my neck. Yun Xiao was strolling on the sports field when she thought she heard Lin Bei calling for help. Thus, she tried calling her. This time, she was certain she heard Lin Bei calling for help and knew that something happened to her. Yun Xiao didn't dare think too much and immediately ran towards the small forest. Lin Bei, I'm Teacher Yun Xiao. I'm coming, don't be afraid. Yuan Xiang, who was about to tear Lin Bei's clothes, suddenly stopped. Since he knew that the person heading over was teacher Yun Xiao, he gave up on his actions, glared at Lin Bei, turned and ran. Tramp, at this time tomorrow, I'll still be waiting for you here. If you dare to not show up, don't think you can attend Acropolis University peacefully. Not too long after Yu Wenxiang ran away, Yun Xiao saw Lin Bei. She had a distracted expression, her hair was a mess, she sat on the floor, and there were 5 clear red marks in the shape of fingers on her face. Anyone who saw her pitiful expression would want to give her a hug. Yun Xiao promptly ran over. Bei, are you all right? What happened? Who did this to you? An air of coldness shot out of Yun Xiao. She looked around, but there was no one else in the small forest. Teacher Yun Xiao. Wah. Lin Bei went headfirst into Yun Xiao's embrace. She cried like a little kid. Yun Xiao's heart went out to Lin Bei. She hugged her and lightly patted her back. After a good while of comforting and caring, Lin Bei's emotions slowly stabilized. Bei, tell your teacher who did this. I'll definitely help you get out of this predicament. As the painting teacher of the arts department, Yun Xiao had a good impression of Lin Bei. She was a smart, good, and hardworking kid. Yun Xiao's heart filled with raging fire when she discovered that Lin Bei was bullied. Whoever could make a move on such a soft and weak girl should be met with the wrath of the heavens. It's fine. I don't want to bring up the incident. Lin Bei was quiet for a while and then shook her head. Then, did he do anything to you? The answer to this question was what Yun Xiao was the most worried about. Lin Bei shook her head. Good thing you came in time, teacher Yun Xiao, thank you. Hearing Lin Bei say this, Yun Xiao was mostly relieved. She patted Lin Bei's head affectionately. Silly child, I'm your teacher. She who spends a day as your teacher is your mother for a life. You don't need to say any courteous words. Okay, teacher Yun Xiao, let's go. Lin Bei stood and led Yun Xiao out of the forest. They arrived at the sports field again. She inhaled the fresh air, and her mood improved slightly. That's right, Bei. Do you know why Qin Feng hasn't been in class recently? Yun Xiao suddenly asked while they were walking. Lin Bei pouted her lips and shook her head. She began to feel wronged again. Didn't Qin Feng announce in class that he was going to court you? I thought you two were together already, so you don't know either. Lin Bei said nothing and missed Qin Feng more and more. After this most recent incident, she really wanted to call Qin Feng immediately. But, after hesitating for a while, she gave up on that desire. She was worried that Qin Feng was doing something important and that she would bother him. Bei, are you still unwilling to say who that bad person was earlier? After the two walked out of the entrance of the sports field, Yun Xiao asked her again. She wanted to help Lin Bei find justice. She would never easily spare a jerk like that. Lin Bei knew how influential Yu Wenxiang's family was. Even if she told teacher Yun Xiao would not be able to resolve the issue. Plus, this situation would affect her reputation. She clenched her teeth and continued to wordlessly shake her head. They walked out of the campus. Lin Bei bent her head and did not speak. Yun Xiao continuously uttered words of comfort. When they exited the school's entrance, the two parted ways. Lin Bei sat on the bus and returned to the Royal Clubhouse. She sat in Royal Clubhouse's luxurious Suite 888. Lin Bei felt that the entire room was empty and cold. Ever since Qin Feng arranged for her to stay in this room, he never returned to it. In the beginning, Lin Bei was very used to living there. But as time passed, she felt increasingly lonely. She even had trouble sleeping at night. She longed for the night that Qin Feng would come see her. Even if he lived here at night and slept with her, Lin Bei would be willing. The more she thought about it, the more upset she became. In addition, after almost getting molested by Yu Wenxiang today, the feelings she held back for so long came bubbling forth. She suddenly mustered up the courage to pick up the phone and call Qin Feng. Qin Feng was awoken by the ringing of his phone. He answered with annoyance. Who is it? Why are you calling so early? Do you still want to be able to hang around Acropolis City? After hearing Qin Feng's familiar voice, Lin Bei's heart flooded with warmth. He was still just as strong and tyrannical as before. This was exactly why Lin Bei used to hate him. Now, A surge of sweetness flowed through her heart. But he's Acropolis City's #1 hedonistic young master. She shouldn't be like this. Lin Beibei looked at the clock on the wall. It was already 11:30. The corner of her mouth lifted into a curve. She said quietly, "Qin Feng, it's me." The voice was clear and ethereal like a tinkling spring that flowed past and melted the snow on the mountains. It swept away all of Qin Feng's fatigue. He abruptly sat up and said smilingly, "Beibei, I haven't seen you in so long. Your voice is still as sweet and lovely as ever." When Lin Beibei realized that Qin Feng could immediately recognize her voice, silent tears sprung from her eyes. She wasn't sure if they were tears of sadness or joy. "Beibei, say something." Qin Feng screwed his head. "Qin Feng, I'll be waiting for you at the Royal Clubhouse. Why don't you come over?" Lin Beibei said after a while. After ending the call, Qin Feng was in an impossibly good mood. Beauty Lin initiated a meeting, so how could he not go? While thinking about how he hadn't gone to school to visit the beauties these days, he promptly finished washing his face and rinsing his mouth. Then, he rode his 28 bicycle to the Royal Clubhouse. "Hey, young Master Qin." Right when Qin Feng walked through the door, the fat-headed and large-eared manager Lu ran over. His eyes shined with happiness. It was too long since he had last seen Qin Feng at the Royal Clubhouse. "You haven't been here in a long time. All of us employees miss you to death." As a rich young master, Qin Feng actually didn't have a haughty attitude. He often associated himself with the employees of lower positions, and these people also enjoyed kissing Qin Feng's ass. "Why were you thinking of me? I have no interest in your fatty meat-filled body." Qin Feng jokingly punched Manager Lu. "That's because I've followed you for so long. There's no way I wouldn't know your taste." Suddenly, Manager Lu leaned towards Qin Feng's ear and whispered, "Young Master Qin, last night, a French gal arrived in the clubhouse and wow. She's a pretty blonde with skin as white as milk and big dark blue eyes with long lashes. Her body isn't overly attractive. She has a perfect S-shaped body, and those legs of hers practically go up to my neck." Manager Lu made exaggerated movements and expressions as he spoke. Chapter 108. Chapter 108, What I Have is Money. If this was the Qin Feng from before, he would definitely be anxious to satisfy himself with the beautiful Frenchwoman. However, his current self had suddenly lost interest in these women. He waved his hand. "No need. I came here on proper business this time." "Proper business again?" Manager Lu stared blankly. "The last time young Master Qin came to rescue Yun Xiao, he said he had proper business to attend to. After this, Manager Lu hadn't seen him come to the Royal Clubhouse until today. He felt that Qin Feng was no longer the idle and useless rich young master from before. Qin Feng's body had an air of strength, and his speech was also clear and concise. Most importantly, that trademark lascivious smile was gone as well. "Young Master Qin, what kind of proper business?" Qin Feng had changed too much, so Manager Lu didn't dare carelessly joke around. He also became serious. "Manager Lu, how is the female classmate that I arranged to live here?" "Oh, young Master Qin, you should have mentioned that earlier. You made me nervous to death." Once he heard that Qin Feng's proper business was Lin Beibei, Manager Lu's smile immediately returned. So the proper business was the same as before, and young Master Qin was still the dissolute young master from before. It seems that he came to play with that pure campus beauty this time. That girlie is really obedient. She comes back on time after school every day, leaves for school in a timely manner, and spends the rest of the time in her room. Even until now, she's definitely still a fledgling. Young Master Qin, you have to be dissolute for the whole day today." When he saw Manager Lu smiling so much that his small eyes disappeared, Qin Feng smacked him on the head. "Be more serious. Have you catered to Beibei according to my wishes?" Manager Lu immediately retracted his smile. "Young Master Qin, you personally gave these instructions, so how could I not listen? I treat your pretty classmate like a rich young miss every day. All 3 of her meals are nutritious and gourmet. I send over a female masseuse to give her a full body spa every night, and she's picked up and dropped off at school every day by limousine. Don't worry, No one would dare mistreat little Princess Lin Bei Bei. Qin Feng was quite at ease with how Manager Lu did things. He patted his shoulder. Very good. In a bit, find the head of the finance department and put in 100,000 yuan in my name. Manager Lu waved Qin Feng walk away. He was so moved that he wanted to scream. Qin Feng was too unaffected, too mesmerizing. Qin Feng stood before the door of Presidential Suite 888 and felt a bit regretful. This was once the headquarters of his debauchery. Ever since he became an adult, he stayed in room 888 more than the Qin Manor. Every new quality item of Royal Clubhouse had to first pass his full-body inspection. Every beauty that passed his test came out as a leading figure of the Royal Clubhouse. After standing for a while, Qin Feng pressed the doorbell. Lin Bei Bei knew that Qin Feng would come. She was halfway through her shower when the doorbell rang. Her heartbeat quickened. She didn't even care that she hadn't washed away all the bubbles on her body. She draped on a robe as white as snow and promptly ran to open the door. The door opened and Qin Feng fell into a trance when he saw the refined and delicate, beautiful young woman before him. She only wore a robe, and her wet hair fell scattered on her fragrant shoulders. Her pretty clavicles were free and exposed, and there were mesmerizingly fragrant soap bubbles on them. This was clearly the use of a wet body to seduce someone. Qin Feng's ability to resist Lin Bei Bei was not high. When he saw her, he wanted to make a move. Qin Feng. When Qin Feng admired a woman, he was not shy about it. He was always unscrupulous. Lin Bei Bei's face became completely red. She softly called to Qin Feng. Just come in first. Lin Bei Bei pulled Qin Feng into the room. Why was there that kind of feeling? After entering the room, Qin Feng came back to his senses. He suppressed his immoral thoughts and sat on the bed. He lightly touched the bed sheets and felt a sense of familiarity. Lin Bei Bei closed the door. She looked like a budding water lily, fresh and pleasant. She lowered her head and shyly walked towards Qin Feng. Without waiting for his agreement, she sat on his thigh. Bei Bei, what are you doing? Qin Feng suddenly got nervous. Lin Bei Bei was comfortable hearing Qin Feng calling her Bei Bei. When she saw his shocked expression, she couldn't help but cover her mouth and smile lightly. Young Master Qin, aren't you Acropolis City's #1 hedonistic and dissolute young master? How is it that I haven't seen you for a few days, and you're now as reserved as a monk? Qin Feng also laughed easily. He hadn't changed, but he always kept an intentional distance from Lin Bei Bei. Qin Feng didn't want to taint this kind of delicate and pretty but strong girl. She was like a water lily that bloomed out of the mud. One could only appreciate her from the sidelines, but no one could taint her divinity. Lin Bei Bei was like this, and Su Ruoro was also like this. All Qin Feng could do was quietly protect them. Of course, he had to sometimes take small advantages as a reward. Bei Bei, have you been well? No one dares to bother you at school, right? The air was a bit lovey-dovey, and Qin Feng initiated a conversation. Lin Bei Bei's pretty eyes suddenly became wet. She looked at Qin Feng's handsome, angular face and threw herself into his embrace. A fragrance entered his nose and something soft stuck to his body. Qin Feng could clearly feel the frail body beneath Lin Bei Bei's bathrobe. Bei Bei, what's wrong? Qin Feng lightly shoved Lin Bei Bei a bit. She was like an octopus and hugged Qin Feng with a death grip. Has someone bullied you? Qin Feng touched Lin Bei Bei's back and began to caress her. A few drops of sparkling tears fell on the nape of Qin Feng's neck. Lin Bei Bei clenched her teeth and shook her head. Qin Feng knew Lin Bei Bei's personality. He knew that she worked part-time jobs since she was really young. She raised money for her mother's hospital and medicinal fees, and also had to support her family and pay tuition at the same time. She looked like the beautiful and sickly Lin Daiyu, but she was a steadfast female warrior inside. She must have been greatly wronged for her to cry like this. Qin Feng used his strength to push her away. He wiped the tears on her face and became serious. Bei Bei, tell me what's wrong. What happened to your face? It seems a bit swollen on this side. Lin Bei Bei stared at him with pretty eyes as clear as a mirror. She looked closely at Qin Feng. Qin Feng, I'm fine. I've recently started using a new face mask, so my skin became a bit irritated and swollen. I just missed you too much, so. Lin Beibei knew about the conflict between Qin Feng and Yuan Xiang. Last time on the sports field, the two fought and then planned a fight to the death. In the end, she was worried about Qin Feng. She was afraid that after he found out about what happened, he'd look to cause trouble for Yuan Xiang and subsequently cause trouble for himself. She didn't want to cause any trouble for Qin Feng. Qin Feng was a bit dazed. He thought Lin Beibei's attitude had improved towards him because he helped her out a couple of times, but he never thought that her attitude towards him would have improved this much. Lin Beibei's words were clearly a confession towards him, unless he did something to her and forgot. Qin Feng, why haven't you been at school recently? Lin Beibei initiated a change in the topic for fear that Qin Feng would continue pursuing the Yuan Xiang incident. Qin Feng moved his leg and hugged Lin Beibei so she could sit more comfortably. There were some important things I had to take care of, so I didn't go to school. What important things? Lin Beibei looked like an obedient kitten. She leaned quietly on Qin Feng's chest and suddenly felt really safe. She still couldn't help but ask about Qin Feng's matters. She put forth her little heart and didn't even know if Qin Feng would share this important matter with her. Did she have the kind of status in his heart where they could talk about anything? Some family matters. It wasn't because Lin Beibei didn't have a high position in his heart that Qin Feng didn't elaborate. He really cared about Beibei, so he didn't want her to know about the war between the Qin and Hao families. This might bring her unnecessary trouble. Lin Beibei's expression suddenly dropped. Then, when will you be going back to school? The threat Yuan Xiang made to Lin Beibei when he ran away regarding going to the sports field tomorrow morning made Lin Beibei afraid. She wanted to wait until Qin Feng returned to school so she could go with him. I don't know. I might not go back to school anymore. Qin Feng thought about how after October passes by, he would partake in the capital's Qin family succession tournament for his father's dreams and his mysterious mother. Even if the Qin and Hao war was over, he would probably still stay at the company to learn management and break through his limits at the same time. Lin Beibei's pretty eyes flashed with disappointment. After a length of silence, she suddenly laughed. Qin Feng, are you free today? Come take a stroll with me, okay? Okay. Lin Beibei rarely took walks, and it was her first time taking a walk with a male. She pulled out the only dress she owned. It was sky blue and stopped at her knees. She looked like a lovely butterfly. She held Qin Feng's hand and happily walked along the bustling pedestrian walkway. Wancheng Square is Acropolis City's iconic and fashionable shopping street. This plot of land in the center of the city was a golden commercial street, and was also where Royal Group staked and developed their estate project. Today was a weekend, so the pedestrian walkway was extremely crowded. Most of the people there were couples around Qin Feng and Lin Beibei's age. Qin Feng was very familiar with this street. He took Lin Beibei to a Chanel store. Chanel was created in Paris in 1914 by Gabrielle Chanel. The company produced many different products. There were clothes, jewelry, accessories, cosmetics, perfumes, purses, etc. Each product was famous everywhere, especially their perfume and fashionable clothing. This was a brand name that experienced 80 years of turbulence. The products were naturally extremely expensive and high-ranking luxury goods. But the Chanel style caught Qin Feng's eye. It was eternally elegant, simple, and refined. They were adept and surpassed tradition to follow the trends. Plus, since they were products of this store, if Lin Beibei wore it, she would definitely look really classy. Though Lin Beibei hadn't experienced a lot, she still knew about a big brand like this. She was clearly a bit shy, and stood at the door lightly tugging Qin Feng. Don't worry, take whatever you like. What young Master Qin has is money. Qin Feng immediately saw through Lin Beibei's apprehensions, so he let out an easy smile and helped her get rid of them. Chapter 109. Chapter 109. A fairy that walked out of a painting. The two stood in front of the door. They didn't walk in or come out, so they happened to block the man and woman behind them. The face of the woman who wore heavy makeup immediately dropped. Her voice was filled with disdain. Oh my. Say, are you two going in or not? As a youngling, if you want to pick up girls, take them to the movie theater, eat some spicy soup at night, and get a room to do what you need to do. What are you doing pretending and running to this kind of international brand name? Wang Ying currently held Sun Ye's arm and put on an air of importance. When she spoke, her eyes looked to the skies, and she looked like she was eyeing to fly. Only after this mockery and ridicule did Wang Ying's gaze fall onto Qin Feng and Lin Bei Bei. When she recognized Qin Feng, her expression greatly changed multiple times before resulting in an unrestrained sneer. Haha, I was wondering which country bumpkin this was. Isn't this Royal Group's sales representative? Oh my, you're a heartless brat. You've kept Liu Chun, and now you're keeping a little female student. The little female students are so easy to fool these days. All you have to do is buy them some things and say some nice things and they'll be tricked into bed. What has the world come to? Qin Feng thought he was pretty brazen, but he had found someone even more so. She stood there complaining about how messy the world was when she was someone else's mistress. Qin Feng was too lazy to even look at a frivolous woman like her. Sun Yi saw Qin Feng and couldn't contain the raging flames in his eyes. Yesterday, Qin Feng cheated him of 8 million yuan, so Sun Yi wanted to bite him to death. However, when he saw Lin Bei Bei standing next to Qin Feng, the fire in his eyes receded and was replaced by a glowing green. He stood there silently and didn't know what to say. Qin Feng, the things here are really expensive. We should just leave. I just wanted to take a walk with you. I wasn't preparing to buy anything. Lin Bei Bei was a bit mad. She tugged at Qin Feng and prepared to leave. Wang Ying immediately blocked their way. She smiled coldly. Oh, so it seems that I've underestimated your courting techniques. This girlie looks pretty fresh and tender, but her brain is no good. She isn't spending your money and she's letting you get in bed with her? What a loose woman. How can you talk like that? Do I know you? Please don't use that kind of language to insult me. Lin Bei Bei could stand other things, but she couldn't stand it if someone said she was a loose woman in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng's eyes flashed with an almost imperceptible coldness. She hugged Lin Bei Bei's shoulder and suddenly laughed. Bei Bei, let's go. We'll go in and choose clothes. You're a poor kid and you're running to an international brand name store to pretend? I want to see if you can even afford a belt inside. Just yesterday, Sun Yi was cheated 8 million yuan at the Royal Group, and today, they coincidentally met Qin Feng again. It wasn't just Wang Ying that wanted to take this chance to humiliate Qin Feng. Sun Yi couldn't let the opportunity slip by either. His eyes almost fell out of his skull when he saw Lin Bei Bei standing beside Qin Feng. He couldn't understand how these high-quality beauties would like a poor brat like Qin Feng. The two followed Qin Feng and Lin Bei Bei into the Chanel store. They ignored the warm reception of the sales staff and walked in the direction Qin Feng did. Qin Feng brought Lin Bei Bei to the new product section. There were a range of styles ranging from mature and sexy to pure and pretty. Bei Bei, look around. If you like something, go try it out. Lin Bei Bei nodded. She was clearly unhappy. She wasn't angry at Wang Ying's insults, but she was a bit surprised that Qin Feng didn't stand up for her. Based on Qin Feng's former temper, he would have brutally struck the two in the face. But Lin Bei Bei glanced at Qin Feng and noticed that he still had a calm expression. He clearly didn't take what had happened to heart. When you like a person, you'll care about their every move in addition to personal gains and losses. Every detail made Lin Bei Bei muse and feel a sense of loss for a good while. She looked around for a long time, but Lin Bei Bei's heart wasn't on the clothes, so she didn't try on any of them. Look at you pretending. We've been here for half a day, and you still haven't chosen any clothes to try. And don't make up crap about being above these clothes. From what I see, if you don't have the money, hurry up and scram. Don't be a disgrace. This store was originally high class, but seeing these houseflies makes me want to vomit. Wang Ying observed them from the side for half a day and grasped the opportunity to taunt them. Qin Feng didn't answer Wang Ying and sat on a seat in the rest area. He sent a text message on his phone. His card was currently frozen by his old dad, and he had no money on him. However, Wancheng Square is Royal Group's property, so Qin Feng knew the property manager Xiao Cheng. At this time, he was sending him a text to come over immediately. Lin Bei Bei clenched her teeth and stood shyly in front of a pile of beautiful clothes. When she looked at the prices of the clothes, her heart wanted to jump out of her chest. She was ridiculed by Wang Ying, but had no way of rebutting her because she really was a poor child. She should never have come to such a luxurious store. Her pretty and refined face slowly became completely and impossibly red. Her entire body heated, and she was so embarrassed that she wanted to dig a hole and hide in it. Her shyness was extremely charming. When Sun Yi saw it, he lost his senses. He really wanted to pull Lin Beibei into a fitting room and ravish her. A pair of large hands suddenly fell on Lin Beibei's shoulders. A fresh and familiar scent wafted into her nose, calming her wildly beating heart. Qin Feng hugged Lin Beibei and looked calmly at Wang Ying and Sun Yi. He gave a slight smile. What you said was right. In my eyes, the clothes here aren't good enough for Beibei. She's delicate, pretty, refined, innocent, and kind-hearted. Any clothing material and style won't be able to compare to her innate persona. I think Beibei is the most beautiful without clothes. Qin Feng wasn't joking. He was serious. This was an honest thought from the bottom of his heart. When he went to room 888 of the Royal Clubhouse today, he saw Lin Beibei's body and continued to feel this way. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. You're clearly a country bumpkin if you can say such vulgar things in this crowded hall. And you're even pretending to be a literary person? You're really shameless. I actually want to see how good this silly girl looks without clothes. Why don't you take her clothes off now? Qin Feng had Wang Ying tickled with laughter. Even the quiet Sun Ye's eyes flashed with a sinister smile. I'm also curious. Even Chanel's clothes aren't good enough for this beauty. I wonder how good she'll look without any clothes on. While speaking, Sun Ye's gaze fell on Lin Beibei's body. His gaze brimmed with the desire to see through Lin Beibei's clothes. Qin Feng's grip on Lin Beibei tightened. He casually pulled a light pink qipao with embroidered lilies off the display rack. It wasn't really a classical Chinese qipao. After some changes from the designer, it became a modern and sexy outfit that still retained its refined and dignified elegance. Qin Feng really liked it. Beibei, I'll go inside with you. Let's try this one. He didn't wait for Lin Beibei's response and pulled her into the fitting room. He stopped by the door and turned his head to look at Wang Ying and Sun Yi. Don't be deluded, you two. Only I can enjoy Beibei's body. The fitting room wasn't very big. Now that two people stood inside, Lin Beibei was clearly a bit uneasy. Beibei, don't worry and try on the clothes. I'll turn around and won't peek. Qin Feng said with his back facing Lin Beibei. Lin Beibei nodded with a tender and beautiful blush. She took off her clothes, trying her best to make as little noise as possible. Not long after, Lin Beibei finished changing and gave Qin Feng a light pat. Qin Feng turned and his eyes shined. He always thought Lin Beibei innately had Lin Daiyu's sickly and weak kind of beauty. There were a couple of times where he wondered what Lin Beibei would look like in a qipao. She now stood before him wearing a light pink qipao adorned with lilies. The qipao was a style that revealed half the shoulder. It left Lin Beibei's fragrant shoulder and back exposed. Her long arms were like budding lotus roots, perfectly white and clear. The tight qipao made her curves more defined. She wasn't fiery hot, but had a fresh pleasantness instead. She looked like a fairy maiden from the ancient paintings. She was delicate, pure, refined, and extremely exquisite. Within this image of classical peacefulness, she also expressed a sliver of charming sexiness. Since Qin Feng hadn't said anything, Lin Beibei shyly raised her head. She saw that Qin Feng's gaze was fixed upon her body, but didn't feel any distaste. Instead, she was a bit excited. Qin Feng, does it look good? Lin Beibei couldn't help but ask. Qin Feng nodded and said nothing. He had no words to express how beautiful Lin Beibei currently was. It was clearly not enough to just say she looked good. Beibei, go choose a couple of outfits that you like. And some shoes and accessories. Buy some of everything and don't care about the price. You know me, I'm the only son of the richest man. I have this kind of money. Qin Feng's words made Lin Beibei's mood extremely good. She didn't really want Qin Feng to buy her stuff. She just wanted this kind of treatment. Okay, then I'll really go choose. Lin Beibei finally set down her reservations. She thought these reservations were necessary in front of other people, but they were unnecessary in front of Qin Feng. The two walked out of the fitting room. Once they got out, all of the surrounding people's gazes fell on Lin Bei's body. They were all deeply enchanted by this fairy that walked out of a painting. Oh, what a beautiful Chinese girl. There's no need to talk about compliments in Chinese. After a couple of foreigners in the crowd saw Lin Bei, they couldn't help but compliment her. Once Lin Bei came out, she realized that she became the audience's focal point. Practically all of the customers in the Chanel store stared fixedly at her. Flustered, she carefully hid behind Qin Feng and held his hand. Lin Bei's beauty was recognized by all. Though from the outside Wang Ying pursed her lips in disdain, internally, she was shocked by Lin Bei's beauty. And there's need to mention what Sun Yi beside her thought. His eyes glowed green and he couldn't take his eyes off Lin Bei's body. Chapter 110. Chapter 110, Cover Model. Sun Yi was jealous of Qin Feng. This brat had no money or status. How was it that every gal he picked up was a luxury item among luxury items? He looked at Wang Ying, who stood beside him once more. She could only depend on heavy makeup to have even a bit of charm. Sun Yi felt like a failure. Though he wasn't considered someone from an extremely rich and powerful family, his old man was still a real estate developer of some consequence. Though his family didn't have over 100 million, they didn't have any less than tens of millions. As someone from a rich family, a sense of despair filled his heart when he thought of how he had to spend money just to keep an average-looking woman like Wang Ying. Sun Yi didn't deliberate too long before walking towards Lin Bei. He was so mesmerized by her that he almost lost his soul. This time, he decided to rely on his background to take Lin Bei. As for Wang Ying, she could go play wherever she liked. If he had a goddess-tiered woman like Lin Bei, even if Wang Ying was a free home delivery, Sun Yi still wouldn't give her another glance. Beauty, this kind of cheapao worn on your body, forms a heavenly combination. It's like green leaves paired with red flowers, and highlights the brilliance of your classical elegance. Sun Ye's eyes shined with praise for Lin Bei. He was smiling so hard that his face almost turned crooked. I just have to walk a street and I can see such a delightfully beautiful woman. I've decided that I'll buy this cheapao for you. If you like anything else in the store, I'm willing to buy it for you as well. I just want this beauty to have a meal with me so we can get to know each other. Before courting a woman, men love to pretend to be gentlemanly. After getting her into his hands, they all become beasts. In today's society, this kind of move is outdated. According to Qin Feng's courting tactics, you're a beast before courting a woman. After getting her, you act like a gentleman. The phrase, "If men aren't bad, women don't love them," makes a lot of sense. There's no need. Lin Bei resolutely rejected Sun Yi. She thought this man was despicable. His girlfriend was next to him, and he was still coming on to her? He was a really disgusting man. Having Qin Feng to pay for me is enough. At this time, Lin Bei held tightly onto Qin Feng. She lifted her head and gazed tenderly at him. She felt an incomparable sense of happiness. After he was rejected in front of an audience, Sun Yi couldn't contain his expression and his face fell. He looked at Qin Feng and said in contemplation, "Him? Does he look like he has money? I forgot to tell you, I saw this guy yesterday. He's just a little sales representative. Don't be fooled by his flowery words. You won't have a future if you date this kind of person." "That's my problem. It's none of your business." Lin Bei was really unhappy with Sun Ye's attempt to belittle Qin Feng. She coldly glared at him. Wang Ying already saw through Sun Ye's intentions. She was afraid he wanted to pick up that tramp. She would never let Lin Bei get her way. She chose a revealing and sexy outfit off the clothes rack and ran to the fitting room to change. She was ready to use her body to attract the gazes onto herself and ruthlessly push Lin Bei down in comparison. No one cared about what Wang Ying did. Sun Yi didn't give up. He continued, "Beauty, maybe you don't know who I am. My dad is the CEO of Acropolis City's big land real estate. He doesn't make that much in a year, but he makes at least 10 or 20 million. Sun Yi held his head high and puffed up his chest. He was filled with arrogance as he looked at Qin Feng with contempt. "I'm not like some people who only know how to use flowery speech but can't buy anything." Those who could buy things from Chanel were people who had some sort of family background. Some of the people nodded when they heard big land real estate, like they had heard of it before, while some others had no impression of it. Lin Bei thought Sun Yi was hilarious. He was talking about a small real estate company that only had 10 or 20 million a year in income and still dared to be ostentatious in front of Qin Feng. She stood behind Qin Feng and couldn't help but laugh aloud. "Beauty, do you think I'm bullshitting?" Sun Ye's expression became serious. He clearly misunderstood Lin Bei's reason for laughing. He grandly waved his hands. Sun Yi, never lie. I said 10 or 20 million at first, but that's just a conservative estimate. A lot of people in Acropolis City know me. I'm even good friends with the 4 princes of Acropolis. An income of 20 million actually isn't much. Beauty, if you want to be friends in the future, I naturally won't treat you shabbily. Sun Ye's meaning was quite clear. He wanted to keep Lin Bei as a mistress. Lin Bei smiled even more. She wanted to ask Qin Feng right in front of Sun Ye's face whether or not Qin Feng knew this crazy dude. A lot of people never heard of big land real estate, but Acropolis City's 4 princes were quite famous. Practically all of Acropolis City's locals heard of them. Thus, when Sun Yi said he knew Acropolis City's 4 princes, the people in the crowd began to quietly deliberate. They even looked at Sun Yi differently. Sun Yi felt the gazes of reverence from the crowd and basked in them. He puffed his chest even more and looked like a large rooster that wanted to go into battle. "Beauty, this is my name card. You can think about it." Lin Bei didn't take the name card Sun Yi extended to her. She didn't even care enough to look at him. A large-bellied, middle-aged man made his way into the crowd. He had a fawning smile and came up to Lin Bei. "How do you do, beautiful girl? I'm Zhao Chuan, the general agent for Chanel in Acropolis City. The light pink qipao you're wearing is a new design Chanel made to expand into the Chinese market. I've recently been looking for a cover model for the qipao series. It's definitely destiny that I saw a beauty like you wearing this qipao today. I don't know if you're willing to accept this invitation to become the cover model? Don't worry, in terms of compensation, you'll be receiving allocations from the headquarters. They only care about the result, and they don't care about spending money." Zhao Chuan's sudden appearance gave Lin Bei a bit of a shock. She didn't think casually wearing a qipao would attract so much attention. She blushed and lifted her head to look towards Qin Feng. Of course she would need Qin Feng's help to decide on an important matter like this. "Beauty, are you suspicious of my identity? Don't worry, the store manager and all of the sales staff here know and can vouch for me. Also, Chanel is a large and reputable company. There won't be any sort dishonest things such as unspoken rules." The first time Zhao Chuan saw Lin Bei, he knew that if he hired her to be the cover model for the qipao, this series would definitely sell extremely well. Too bad Zhao Chuan was a man. If he was a woman and saw how beautiful Lin Bei was while wearing the qipao, he'd definitely want to buy one to wear himself. "Beauty, I can attest that if you're the cover model for the qipao products, you'll receive all of the joint promotions between Chanel and China. You'll also be on the big advertisement in the store, the largest and most eye-catching poster. Also, your reward definitely won't be less than 7 figures. Chapter 111. Chapter 111. A 7-figure endorsement fee. Lin Bei's beautiful eyes were as clear as water and bright with joy. A 7-figure endorsement fee, that's over $1 million. She wasn't a money-hungry girl, but if this chance really existed, she would be moved by it. However, she still said nothing and looked at Qin Feng in silence. "There's no need for that." Qin Feng didn't hesitate and straightforwardly rejected Zhao Chuan. "It's enough for me to enjoy Bei's beauty alone. There's no need to put it on display for other people." His singular tyrannical line was mesmerizingly handsome. Lin Bei raised her head slightly and looked at Qin Feng's serious expression with a slight smile. Her heart felt as sweet as if she had eaten honey. She felt so blissful that she was about to melt in Qin Feng's embrace. Lin Bei would willingly give up on 1 million yuan for Qin Feng's one tyrannical line. "Beauty, what do you think?" After being rejected by Qin Feng, Zhao Chuan still didn't give up. He threw some more bait at Lin Bei. "If it's a matter of price, I can contest it with headquarters. I can assure you that you'll get a contract with a guaranteed minimum of 2 million yuan. What do you think? Even A-list celebrities could not receive this rare opportunity to shoot a group of advertisements with a 2 million yuan contract, a completely new person, and an international luxury brand as large as Chanel. Lin Beibei laughed and shook her head. Thank you for your kind intentions, but Qin Feng said that he didn't want to exhibit my beauty for everyone to see, so I have to listen to him. Qin Feng was selfish, but this kind of selfishness made Lin Beibei feel gratified. Zhao Chuan dejectedly shook his head. He was about to try again when Wang Ying finished changing and walked out of the fitting room. She wore a red, halter-top mini dress and walked out of the fitting room like she was on a catwalk. She swayed her hips and strutted seductively towards the audience. It felt as though she was walking on the red carpet of the Cannes Film Festival. Dearest, look at the red mini dress I'm wearing. Does it look good? Wang Ying intentionally spoke loudly amongst the crowd. She spoke while imitating elementary schoolers and twirled gracefully. This mini dress was indeed sexy. It exposed her whole back and only a small piece of cloth covered her chest and thighs. It was a really modern and fashionable style that normal people wouldn't dare wear outside. As Wang Ying expected, all gazes fell on her. She felt like a floating fairy, and she was extremely pleased. But before she could fully enjoy this pleasure, all of the gazes flitted away. They made faces as if their eyes were tainted and quickly returned their gazes onto Lin Beibei. While looking at this slim and graceful young lady, they smiled with their hearts at ease. At this time, they underwent a profound experience and discovered that true beauty and sexiness was not determined by how much skin one exposed or how alluringly they could paint themselves with makeup. True beauty was determined when one could quietly stand there without words or movement, yet could slowly and steadily release unlimited brilliance. Once they saw Lin Beibei, who was as white as the first snow, with skin as tender as a new lotus, a collarbone as perfect as jade, and only a small amount of her beautiful and thin legs exposed. Seeing Wang Ying with most of her skin exposed made them want to throw up. The more Wang Ying exposed, the more disgusted they felt. These people all began to worry that after seeing a woman as perfect as Lin Beibei, they would never date again. Dearest, hurry and look at me. Hurry and look. Do I look good? Aren't I sexy wearing this mini dress? It's really alluring. If you like it, let's buy it. When we get home, I'll wear it for you. Wang Ying hadn't seen the change in the audience's demeanor and swayed Sun Ye's arm with arrogance. Sun Ye really didn't want to look at Wang Ying again. Even listening to her sugar-coated voice was more disgusting than eating a housefly. Someone in the crowd shouted mischievously, "Hey, Chanel's regional general manager, what do you think of this gal? Why don't you use her for your cheap-out advertisements?" Once these words were spoken, a sea of mockery arose. Wang Ying was still unaware of the situation. When she heard that Chanel's regional general manager was here and that he was looking for a cover model, she immediately became excited. Where's the manager? Hurry and look at me, okay? My figure and looks are outstanding. I'll definitely be able to showcase the souls of the designers if I wear the clothes your company designs. Zhao Chuan stepped out. He took one glance at Wang Ying and shook his head in distaste. When compared to Lin Beibei, the two were on completely different grades. There were swarms of women like Wang Ying on the streets. Dearest, they said the regional general manager's picking out a cover model. Is that true? Where's the manager? Why don't I try? I'm so movingly beautiful. Smack. Wang Ying hadn't finished speaking when she was met with a resounding slap. Before she could react, the slap shoved her to the ground. You ugly thing. Hurry and scram. In the future, don't look for me. I feel disgusted just by looking at you. You're really an embarrassment. Sun Yi had enough and exploded on the spot. Dazed, Wang Ying sat on the floor. She forgot about the stinging pain on her face and stared at Sun Yi with complete astonishment. The story shouldn't have progressed this way. She could feel the audience's judgmental gazes. When did she ever suffer such disgrace? However, once she thought about how losing Sun Ye's financial support would cause her to lose the material life she had now, she didn't care about face. She immediately crawled before Sun Yi and hugged his thigh with a death grip. Sun Yi, you can't treat me like this. Every night, I help you blow your load. satisfy your desires with dual attacks from the front and back, and I never turn my back on you when you don't even last for more than a minute. How can you hit me and call me ugly? When you go crazy with me at night, you don't say anything like that to me." With one breath, Wang Ying let everything out. The audience shifted their judgmental gazes onto Sun Yi. Sun Yi was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. How did he end up finding such a foolish woman? He had no face to continue staying here. He kicked Wang Ying away and wanted to leave. "Tramp, let go of me." Wang Ying already lost her senses. She tightly hugged Sun Yi's thigh as if she had gone crazy. She refused to let go, so Sun Yi began to kick her. The more he kicked, the wilder the kicks became. Wang Ying began to spit blood, but he still couldn't shake her off. This man was so malicious that the surrounding audience could not continue to wah him. The foreigners swore in English and denounced Sun Yi. Then, 2 security guards ran over and pulled Sun Yi away. The fight gradually calmed. Wang Ying's hair was disheveled, and she was battered and exhausted. She suddenly looked towards Lin Bei Bei. All of this was because of her. Her eyes clouded over with evil as she pounced at Lin Bei Bei with bared teeth and flying claws. Chapter 112. Chapter 112. A dreamlike and fantastical day. "You tramp, you're just pretending to be pure. I'll tear off your clothes and show everyone your dirty body. I wonder how many times you've been done, and by how many despicable men. You're both a pair of dogs." This sudden outburst scared Lin Bei Bei, and she screamed in fright. Wang Ying's hair was disheveled, and the corner of her mouth had traces of blood. It was extremely frightening, like seeing Sadako in broad daylight. Qin Feng's expression remained unchanged. He didn't wait for Wang Ying's claws to reach Lin Bei Bei before he kicked this vicious woman out the door. Even pitiful people must have hateful traits. This saying isn't false. After kicking her, Qin Feng acted like nothing happened and muttered this line to himself. He tugged at Lin Bei Bei and led her to sit on the sofa to the side. At this time, an impeccably dressed man walked into the Chanel store. He had an unordinary aura and an air of capability. His expression revealed a sliver of anxiousness, and when he walked into the store, his eyes began to scan the premises. When he saw Qin Feng sitting on the sofa, he immediately ran towards him. "Young Master Qin, I didn't think you'd come to Wanqing Square. I have been lacking in my accommodations. I hope young Master Qin can forgive me." It was clear that the customers in the store didn't know Xiao Cheng, but they all stared at him in utter shock. After all, when he came into the store, he could clearly see Wang Ying lying at the doorstep, but he didn't care and just barged past her. Once he got into the store, he reverently arrived before Qin Feng. The bystanders began to guess at Qin Feng's identity. "Oh, I remember now. I was wondering why this young man looked so familiar. He's Acropolis City's #1 hedonistic young master Qin Feng." An elderly man in his 50s suddenly exclaimed. He had only come to this realization when he heard Xiao Cheng address Qin Feng as young Master Qin. No one thought that Acropolis City's #1 young master would wander around Wancheng Square in his free time. It was said that his old man developed the whole street, so it seemed meaningless for him to wander about in his own home. After this old man's exclamation, a couple more people recognized Qin Feng. Most of these people were those that attended banquets for the rich and powerful and had seen Qin Feng before. They didn't have much of an impression of him from then, and Qin Feng was dressed quite casually right now, so it wasn't strange that these people hadn't recognized Qin Feng immediately. "The young Master Qin you're speaking of, is that young Master Qin of Acropolis City's 4 princes?" "That's him." "Wait, that man said he was really familiar with Acropolis City's 4 princes earlier. He unknowingly sold himself." "That's right. He clearly slapped himself in the face." After discovering Qin Feng's identity, these people got excited. If you were walking in the street and saw the richest son in the city, no, county, you would also have a discussion about him as well. Sun Yi stood dumbly in the crowd as if he were struck by lightning. His face was one of someone who had just eaten shit. He shook his head like his life depended on it and attempted to struggle one last time. He suddenly shouted, "That's impossible! That's impossible! I know this guy. He's just a sales representative in Royal Group. You idiots. I already said I'm very familiar with Acropolis City's four princes. How would I not know young Master Qin? Someone in the crowd immediately refuted him with mockery. You're the fucking idiot. Young Master Qin was clearly organized to gain some experience in his family's company. Stop making a fool of yourself. You even dared to say that you know young Master Qin? Don't you know that if you want to act pretentious, you need to at least put in some effort? Xiao Cheng made everyone debate about whether or not Qin Feng was young Master Qin and thought they were really boring. He flashed his name tag and playfully looked at Sun Yi. Hello. I'm Wancheng Square's General Property Manager Cheng Xiang. Young Master Qin is this commercial street's Diamond VIP. A store that he enters is no longer open to any other customers. Please leave. Sun Yi saw Cheng Xiang's shiny name tag and knew that his identity was not fake. Only the number one hedonistic young Master Qin Feng could have the luxury of being personally attended to by Wancheng Square's General Property Manager and have every store that he walked in to be shut from the rest of the public. This time, something was stuck in Sun Ye's throat and he couldn't speak. After discovering Qin Feng's identity, Wang Ying, who was still lying on the ground at the doorstep of the store, was filled with regret. How was she so blind as to not even recognize young Master Qin? If she knew about his identity earlier, she would have done all she could to seduce him. Wait, Qin Feng called on Sun Yi before he could escape. Sun Yi now knew Qin Feng's identity, so he didn't dare act rashly. When he heard Qin Feng call him, he obediently stood still. Qin Feng walked up to Sun Yi and slapped him in the face. This slap is for Liu Qian. Sun Yi hadn't even gotten the chance to react when a second slap flew over. This slap is for Bei Bei. After the two slaps, Qin Feng stared coldly at Sun Yi. These two slaps are to tell you that some women are off limits. For human trash like you, you ma with Wang Ying very well. I wholeheartedly wish the two of you happiness and that you'll stay together until you're old and gray. You can scram. Qin Feng suddenly exploded. Sun Yi was so frightened that he broke into a run, leaving Wang Ying on the ground at the doorstep. He didn't care whether she was dead or alive. What happened next was simple. With Cheng Xiang's appearance, the customers in the Chanel store were quickly sent outside. In the end, Qin Feng and Lin Beibei were the only customers left in the luxurious place. Every girl has dreams of being a princess, and Lin Beibei always daydreamed about becoming one as well. At this time, this dream became a reality. Lin Beibei felt like a princess, a grand and beautiful princess that Qin Feng doted on. All of the emotions pent up in her heart dispersed. She came to the realization that Qin Feng didn't get angry before because he had a punishment prepared for Sun Yi and Wang Ying right from the beginning. It wasn't that he didn't care about her. Plus, these slaps were 100 times more effective than brutally beating them up. Qin Feng, thank you. While wearing the beautiful qipao, Lin Beibei suddenly tiptoed and kissed Qin Feng on the cheek. Qin Feng laughingly patted Lin Beibei's smooth and soft black hair. Why are you thanking me? You don't need to be polite with me. Now, this whole Chanel store is yours. Choose whatever you like. Qin Feng tapped the tip of Lin Beibei's nose. Lin Beibei shyly nodded. Then, she was like a happy little butterfly freely dancing in the gleaming Chanel store. Lin Beibei's existence was previously composed of going to school, going home, and working. She never had time to walk around, and she didn't enjoy walking around either. Though she was like other girls and liked new clothes and dressing up, her life situation wasn't as good as these other girls. She had so few clothes that it was pitiable. At school, she always wore her uniform while other college females would wear some pretty clothes to exhibit their youthfulness. Now that she finally had the opportunity to stroll and shop with the person she liked, Lin Beibei was addicted. After half an hour, she tried on over 10 outfits, 5 pairs of high heels, and 2 purses. Every time Qin Feng saw Lin Beibei walk out of the fitting room wearing different styles of clothes, his eyes shined. He realized that this girl was innately beautiful. No matter what she wore, it made her extremely well. Qin Feng, I think that's enough. I'm exhausted. Lin Beibei plopped down beside Qin Feng and casually leaned on his shoulder. She didn't call Qin Feng young Master Qin anymore because it didn't feel intimate enough. Qin Feng brushed away the small beads of sweat on Lin Bei's forehead and smiled. Then let's pack up all of these clothes and I'll take you to dinner. Lin Bei was so shocked that she sat up straight and stared incredulously at Qin Feng. Qin Feng, I was just trying them. I wasn't planning on buying them. How much would all of these clothes, shoes, and bags cost? Lin Bei didn't dare think about it, because she had looked at the prices of everything she tried on. No piece of clothing was below 5 figures. If they bought everything, it would cost more than a couple $100,000. You've already tried them, why wouldn't you buy them? They look really good on you. Qin Feng naturally understood Lin Bei's mindset and did not heed her words. He already told the pretty sales staff member to pack up all the clothes that Lin Bei tried on. Lin Bei was about to refuse, but after a moment of hesitation, she said nothing, and her heart was filled with sweetness. Xiao Cheng, I forgot to bring my card. Put the tab on my old man, Qin Feng said while looking at Cheng Xiang. Young Master Qin, of course I don't need you to pay. Just treat this as my gift to Miss Lin because it's the first time I've met her. Cheng Xiang thought it was extremely cost-effective to spend around 500,000 to establish a good relationship with Qin Feng. Qin Feng waved his hand. There's no need for that. Bei won't accept gifts from other people. She only wants gifts from me. All right, next time young Master Qin and Miss Lin have time, I'll treat the both of you out to a meal. Qin Feng held 2 hands full of shopping bags and Lin Bei held his arm. The two intimately walked out of the Chanel store. After getting out, they ate a Western meal and even saw a fun movie. Lin Bei felt that this day passed by strangely fast. It was like a dream or illusion. She was still stuck in her blissful state when the sun slowly set. Bei, we've walked for the whole day. You must be exhausted. I'll take you back, Qin Feng said as he lifted his head to look at the darkened sky. Lin Bei's lips tweed. Although she was unwilling to part with Qin Feng, she had already occupied his entire day and couldn't ask him to keep walking with her. What if Qin Feng felt disgusted with her? The two returned to the royal clubhouse. Qin Feng tossed the shopping bags in hand onto the carpet and exhaled in relief. Today he wore the 300-kilogram flying dragon armor, held 2 hands full of heavy shopping bags, and walked around with Lin Bei for the whole day. He was indeed a bit tired. Now that he was lying on the large and soft bed, he felt extremely relaxed and comfortable. When she saw Qin Feng lying on the bed she had slept on before, Lin Bei's face reddened. She didn't know where her courage came from, but she suddenly came up and stuck herself next to Qin Feng's body. Chapter 113. Chapter 113. The signal was bad. What did you say? Qin Feng was slightly startled when the jade-like body entered his embrace. He was about to push Lin Bei away when she whispered into his ear with a slight gust of warmth. Qin Feng, take me tonight. Qin Feng began to doubt that this was the Lin Bei he knew. He hadn't seen her for a week, but this change was too large. He didn't know about Yuan Xiang's brutality toward Lin Bei, or her lonely sleepless nights when she thought about him. He didn't know about a lot of things regarding her, so that's why he felt that she seemed to have changed. He pushed Lin Bei off him and sat up with seriousness. Bei, don't speak nonsense. You're still in college. This is not something you should touch upon. Qin Feng suddenly became angry. He scared Lin Bei, and she sat to the side and hung her head. He didn't know what she was thinking. After a while, Lin Bei bit her lip and softly asked, Qin Feng, do you like me? Qin Feng didn't rush to respond. He still had the quest of making Lin Bei his girlfriend, and even if he disregarded this quest, he still cared about Lin Bei. Who wouldn't like this pure, strong, independent, and beautiful woman? Let's talk about this another day, Qin Feng said after a lot of hesitation. Though only the Hao family elder was left as a general without an army, this was the most dangerous time of the war between the Qin and Hao families. After all, the Hao elder had nothing to lose, so he would definitely do anything to take his revenge on the Qin family. Qin Feng didn't want to endanger the people close to him during this tenuous time. A large part of why he went to work at Royal Group was due to this. He was afraid that if he interacted with Lin Bei, Zhao Lingxian, or Yun Xiao too frequently, they would be in danger. After all, The Hao elder would use them as leverage against him. Pure and sparkling tears rolled down Lin Beibei's face. She had nothing more to say. She treated Qin Feng's words as a rejection, and her heart was struck with an unnamed ache. Originally, she wanted to mention the Yuan Xiang situation. Now, she felt that there was no need for that. Qin Feng didn't even like her, so why would she cling on to him? She was not that kind of woman. Qin Feng, you head back. I need to sleep. Lin Beibei suddenly stood and didn't look at Qin Feng. Half a month earlier, in the same room, Lin Beibei was rejected by Qin Feng once. At that time, her heart was filled with all sorts of emotions. Today, half a month later, she was rejected again, but the one that left was Qin Feng instead. Though the time was short, it felt like a lifetime. But the pain of heartbreak was as distinct as ever. Qin Feng stood. He could tell that Lin Beibei was down, but for her safety, he didn't explain himself. Once he completely resolved the Hao family issue, he would come back personally and provide Lin Beibei a satisfactory explanation. Wait, Lin Beibei called out just as Qin Feng approached the door. For you, since there won't be a chance in the future. Lin Beibei presented him with a white shirt with a little black bow tie. As a girl of her age, the love she pursued was pure and simple. It was not about brand name purses, and especially not about race cars and mansions. That day on the sports field, he was as bright as the sun. She thought that if Qin Feng wore a white shirt with a black bow tie, he would be just as handsome and bright like the sun. After leaving the royal clubhouse, Qin Feng rushed back to the Qin Manor on his 28 bike. At this time, his cell phone rang. Qin Feng pulled out his phone. It was an unfamiliar number. Who is it? Haha, is this young Master Qin? A familiar laughter passed through the phone. But, even after thinking for a while, Qin Feng couldn't think of who it was. Are you trying to figure out who I am? Haha, I'll tell you who I am. I'm proud of who I am and I stand by my actions. I'm smart and handsome. My ability and status defy natural order. My name is spread far and wide in the capital, and I'm renowned in China as Young Master Wei of the 4 young masters of the capital, Wei Xiaolei. Wei Xiaolei said all this with his head high and chest puffed. Qin Feng screwed his ear. Hey, the signal was bad at first. What did you say? Wei Xiaolei's lips tweed and he almost hung up. I'm Wei Xiaolei. Oh, now that's much more natural. Qin Feng laughed. You gave all of these phony titles that I almost treated you as a clapper-talk performer. Qin Feng, don't think that I'm afraid of you because you're Acropolis City's #1 young master. In my eyes, Acropolis is just a pellet of a land. I've seen a lot of people like you who are toads sitting at the bottom of a well. Ever since Wei Xiaolei lost the car race and his limited edition Maserati Gran Turismo to Qin Feng, he hated Qin Feng. After sending some people to do some research, he then discovered that Qin Feng had some background, and he was Acropolis' richest young master. But what then? Wei Xiaolei was also a rich young master. He was one of the 4 young masters of the capital. As China's economic hub, the capital was much larger than Acropolis. Not only was he unafraid of Qin Feng's background, he even looked right for him. He wanted to teach Qin Feng a good lesson. Since young Master Wei looks down on Acropolis and me as well, then don't call me. The global phone card I opened is really expensive. Qin Feng was too lazy to care about people like Wei Xiaolei. He was about to hang up when he heard an urgent shout. Qin Feng, hang up then. If you hang up, I'll assure you that when you get back to the Qin Manor, you'll notice that your little lover is gone. By then, I can't guarantee how many men will be on her. Qin Feng's brows immediately furrowed. For other issues, he could let them go, but women and close friends were his sore spots. Wei Xiaolei touched his sore spot, and to Qin Feng, this was not a wise move. Haha, Qin Feng suddenly laughed. I, Qin Feng, am distinguished in my unruliness. I have as many women as I have clothes. I wonder which woman you've captured, young Master Wei? Haha, Qin Feng, why are you pretending? Aren't you trying to figure out if I've really kidnapped your woman? Then I'll let you take a listen. A crisp slap rang through the phone, followed by Wei Xiaolei's ruthless shout. Fuck! Hurry and say what your name is and scream twice for me so that idiot Qin Feng can hear. Don't hit me. I don't know Qin Feng. Why did you kidnap me? Let me go. I'm begging you. The tender and weak cry of a woman drifted over. Though she didn't say his name and claimed she didn't know him, once she opened her mouth, Qin Feng's eyes turned red. He thought to himself, Ruoro, don't be afraid. I'll be right there. I'll kill these people and use their blood as an apologetic sacrifice to you. Haha. Hearing the voice, it does sound like a woman I've played with. Tell me, where are you? I'll go and take a look. If it really is my woman, I'll take her with me. Qin Feng, I'll be waiting for you at Coiled Snake Mountain. If I don't see you in 10 minutes, your woman will become everyone's woman. Ha ha ha. Chapter 114. Chapter 114. I'm begging you to participate in the race. After hanging up, Qin Feng flew on his 28 bicycle. His speed broke a new record. He removed his flying dragon armor and rushed toward Coiled Snake Mountain. Coiled Snake Mountain was in a barren mountainous region in the southwest of Acropolis. This mountainous region was originally a mine. After over 10 years of mining, it became a wasteland. Because the body of the mountain was craggy and towering, the paths on the mountain were built based on its shape. From far away, it looked like there was a massive snake coiled within the mountain, hence the name Coiled Snake Mountain. Ever since the mine was depleted, Coiled Snake Mountain became a desolate wasteland. It had also become the street racing holy land for the wealthy sons of the 4 cities near Yun Province. It only took Qin Feng 8 minutes to ride his 28 bicycle to the base of Coiled Snake Mountain. At this time, the sun had mostly set, and what was previously a desolate wasteland was now filled with dazzling and luxurious sports cars. These cars all had their headlights on. They lit up Coiled Snake Mountain so that it was as bright as day. The sports cars were like roaring beasts as the engines rumbled in the dark night. When he saw this scene, Qin Feng's blood began to heat up. Not long ago, he was also a member of this racing group. Every night, he brought a different hot girl to freely spend his youth. Only a couple of months later, when coming back to the bottom of Coiled Snake Mountain and looking at the familiar bustling scene, the scene felt like one from a lifetime ago. While standing at the bottom of Coiled Snake Mountain, Qin Feng surveyed his surroundings. Under the glaring car lights that shot into the dark night, he wasn't able to pinpoint Wei Xiaolei's position. He pushed his 28 bicycle and walked into the crowd. Tonight, Coiled Snake Mountain was more boisterous than before. The luxury cars lined up into the form of a long dragon. During his walk, Qin Feng noticed that even the lowest-ranked cars were Audi TT sports cars. Today, he attracted countless gazes as he pushed an antiquated and extinct 28 bicycle onto the pathway amongst the gathered luxury cars. Damn, which family's old man has run over here? My gosh, what the hell is this dude pushing? Is he also here to race? Haha. Damn, this idiot must have came from an alternate universe. The headlights were so blinding that it was hard to see Qin Feng's face, so they clearly hadn't discovered that he was young Master Qin. The sound of mocking laughter filled the ears. Qin Feng's expression remained unchanged. He ignored their deliberations and continued to push his bike while searching avidly for Su Ruoro. Thump thump. Suddenly, 2 bright headlights appeared, enshrouding the previously dark peak of Coiled Snake Mountain. In a fluster, the crowd turned to look. A Lamborghini Reventon silently stood at the mountaintop like a sleeping beast. There were only a limited 37 of this luxurious sports car in the whole world. 21 were sports coupes and 16 were convertibles. This top-of-the-line sports car was beautiful inside and out, so it was clearly something of high status. Its estimated selling price was 1 million euros, which was around 41 million yuan. Since this was such an astronomical value, there was a price but no market. If someone really wanted to buy it, they would have to spend around 15 million yuan. At this time, the audience that gathered at the bottom of Coiled Snake Mountain were rich young masters of high societal standing hailing from the 4 cities neighboring Yun Province. They usually enjoyed racing and collecting luxury supercars like the Reventon. Everyone knew about this vehicle, and they all stared at it with their eyes aglow with desire. The name Reventon originated in 1943 by the bull that killed the bullfighter Felix Guzman. It was reported that this car was inspired by an F-22 fighter aircraft, so its figure and contours felt just like it. The car also used a lot of designs relating to elements contributing to flight. The design of the inside of the car was so lavish that it's hard to imagine. It had a sports seat that supports and encapsulates the rider with a multifunctional, 3-digit TFT liquid crystal display that made one feel like they were sitting in a cockpit. At the head of the Lamborghini Reventon was a large LED and xenon light. At the back of the car, there were modern tail lights made of specially developed heat-resistant LED lights. This was the car that was a couple of hundred of meters away on the top of Coiled Snake Mountain. It turned its headlights on and shined them over so everyone could see it clearly. The crowd became impassioned. Someone walked out of the Reventon. Since he was a bit far away, his face could not be seen clearly. The instant he spoke through the loudspeaker, Qin Feng's face fell. "Hello everyone, my name is Wei Xiaolei. If you know the capital, you're bound to know me. You can call me Young Master Wei." At this time, I wasn't able to find any entertainment in Acropolis, so I decided to hold an underground auto race for the 4 cities of Yun Province. I'm sure you all know and desire this Reventon behind me because this is a priceless, top-of-the-line supercar. It's a means of pride and a badge of status to us young masters that enjoy collecting luxury cars. So, today I set up this underground car meeting because I have crazy prizes. This Reventon is the first prize for the first place winner. Wei Xiaolei paused here. An evil smile graced his face. Someone was forcefully pushed out of the Reventon. So, what is the second reward? Well, that's this quality little lady. She's pure and cute, her body is slim and sexy, and she's also young and inexperienced. A nice car and a beauty, these are the presents prepared for the first place winner tonight. Whether you can get it or not will depend on how capable you are. These street racing young masters were clearly experienced. When they heard there was a beautiful woman as a gift, they all pulled out their binoculars to take a look. When they saw Suruo's looks, their eyes all glowed green and they seemed to want to rush up and seize her. Okay, we'll now begin registration for the race. There is a 200,000 yuan registration fee. Since the award is so generous, I'm sure you all won't want to miss out on it. When his voice subsided, Wei Xiaolei brought Suruo back onto the car, turned off the headlights, and the top of Coiled Snake Mountain once again fell into darkness. It was as if nothing had happened. At this time, Qin Feng's cell phone rang. "Young Master Qin, how was my speech? I was pretty cool, wasn't I?" Wei Xiaolei's jolly voice drifted over. "Tell me, what do you want from me in order to release Suruo?" Qin Feng's voice became icy. "Ha ha ha. Young Master Qin. Oh, Young Master Qin. Weren't you really arrogant at first? Don't you have a lot of women? Isn't the entire Acropolis at the palm of your hand? Why are you begging this young master now? Since you're dissolute and hedonistic, why would you care about a mere pretty girl? Why don't you leave her for everyone so we can all have a good time?" "You're right. Okay, then I'll leave first. Hope you all have a fun time." Qin Feng sounded like he wanted to hang up. Wei Xiaolei's smile froze violently. He urgently yelled into the phone, "Qin Feng, don't fucking pretend you're at ease. I've already done my research. You've recently been trying to pick up this girl, and you haven't gotten her yet. Haha, how could you bear to let someone else defile this pretty little bird? Just beg me obediently. I'm in a good mood, so I might even return her to you." Oh, now that you mention it, I suddenly remembered that teacher Yuan Xiao made plans with me tonight. She's also one of my targets. I'll take advantage of tonight to take her. Wei Xiaolei did his research on Qin Feng, and Qin Feng also did his research on Wei Xiaolei. Those who knew that he was from the capital's Wei family knew that he came to Acropolis to marry Yuan Xiao. You get back here. You can't look for Yuan Xiao. If you dare bother her again, I'll destroy you." Wei Xiaolei was so angry that he was about to spit blood. He clearly planned to ruthlessly squash Qin Feng tonight so Qin Feng could get a taste of the consequences of offending him. But now, the situation progressed very differently. "Why do I have to listen to you? I don't have time for your nonsense. I have to go look for teacher Yuan Xiao for makeup lessons. Teacher Yuan Xiao loves to teach me while placing the textbook on her black, stocking-clad thighs," Qin Feng said while curling his lips. Wei Xiaolei was so angry that he turned green. He gnashed his teeth noisily. Qin Feng, what do you want? After he said this, Wei Xiaolei realized it sounded very familiar. Wasn't this what Qin Feng just asked him? Wei Xiaolei suddenly really wanted to cry. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to teacher Yun Zhao's house to discuss literature and Chinese paintings. You know that I'm very studious. Wei Xiaolei was about to go crazy. He realized that Qin Feng wasn't like other rich boys. His way of thinking was uncontrollable. Wei Xiaolei worried that if he tried to threaten Qin Feng, he would be threatened instead. Qin Feng, don't leave. I've heard that you enjoy racing. Why don't you play a bit before leaving? Wei Xiaolei already swayed tactics. Since going hard didn't work, then he would try using softness to lure Qin Feng. Tonight's underground auto race was planned especially for Qin Feng. He plotted an accident along the route to kill Qin Feng. But if Qin Feng didn't participate in the race, then all his plans would be for naught. Are you begging me? Qin Feng asked. Silence fell on other line for a long while. Then, there was the sound of grinding teeth. That's right. I'm begging you to participate in the competition. Oh no. This young master's greatest weakness is that he's too kind. Since you've heard that this young master's driving skills are godlike, and you're earnestly begging me to participate in the competition to see my godly skills, then I'll reluctantly fulfill your desires. But I'm not paying the registration fee. After thinking a bit, Qin Feng added, Okay, hand the phone over to our Ruoro so I can have a couple of words with her in private. Wei Xiaolei stupidly handed the phone to Su Ruoro. He suddenly realized that he was acting like Qin Feng's little brother. Qin Feng. When she got the phone, Su Ruoro uncontrollably burst into tears. Ruoro, they didn't bully you, did they? Qin Feng's previously calm demeanor was swept cleanly away, and he asked his question with concern. No, they didn't do anything to me. They just wouldn't let me go home, Su Ruoro said sadly. Qin Feng was relieved. His gaze was as cold as frost. Ruoro, don't be afraid. I'll race to the top immediately and teach these bad guys a lesson. Then, I'll take you home and teach you to play the flute tonight. When Su Ruoro found out that Qin Feng was at the bottom of the mountain, her heart calmed. She nodded vigorously. Okay, I'll wait for you. When we get back. Teach me well. I really like the musical arts. Chapter 115. Chapter 115. Don't call me Big Brother Wei. After taking the phone back, Wei Xiaolei almost wanted to jump off the mountain. He was clearly the one who kidnapped Su Ruoro and threatened to kill Qin Feng. So how were they in the mood to discuss the musical arts? With a wave of his arm, he threw the cell phone off the top of the mountain. His face darkened. He told himself that he'd let Qin Feng feel good about himself first, and when the race starts later, he'll let Williams kill him on the route. He'd let him be cocky, then he'll help deflower this pure and beautiful girl. After thinking this, Wei Xiaolei's lips curved into an evil smile, and his mood improved significantly. At this time, at the bottom of Coiled Snake Mountain, the young masters fought to be the first to register. For these second-generation rich kids, 200,000 wasn't much. Wei Xiaolei's awards for first place deeply enticed every rich young master. With hope in their hearts, everyone thought they could win first place. Qin Feng wasn't a part of this bustling scene. He stopped his 28 in a quiet corner and sat on it. He looked up and admired the moon. This competition was not stressful to him. He could win this luxury car race on his 28 bike. They quickly finished registering, prepared to get into their own cars, and warmed up. Suddenly, there was an ear-splitting grinding noise followed by the appearance of a black Porsche 911 which stopped amidst the crowd with a beautiful drift. The car came to a steady stop, its door opened, and a pair of purple high heels street out. Though they hadn't seen the woman's face yet, her beautiful, long, and slim jade-like legs already caused a good amount of eyes to brighten. She wore light purple with blue and white porcelain designs embroidered into her clothes. She got out of the car and leisurely walked towards the registration area. This woman had beautiful hair that was twisted atop her head and revealed her beautiful white collarbones. Her eyebrows were long and thin. Her eyes were clear, her nose was jade-like, her eyes were almond-shaped, and her small peach lips were naturally red. She was not only beautiful, but she was also outstandingly classy. Her small, quick steps were like lotus flowers. She was dignified and virtuous, and also cultured and refined. From one glance, one could tell that she's clearly a well-bred young lady of a large, rich family. Qin Feng also couldn't help but look over. Ever since he saw Lin Bei wearing a qipao, his taste had become extremely picky. However, after seeing Su Qiuyu in this purple qipao with classical patterns, he felt his eyes brighten. When Lin Bei wore her qipao, there was a dreamlike, idyllic kind of beauty. In contrast, Su Qiuyu's qipao was much more elegant. Her every movement revealed an air of wealth. Wow! Isn't this the princess of Sky City's Su family, Su Qiuyu? It's her. It's her. She's known as Sky City's #1 noble beauty. So it's Su Qiuyu. Seeing her today, the rumors weren't exaggerating. Her natural-born elegance and grandeur makes one want to win her over. Su Qiuyu's arrival made the scene impassioned again. When they thought about this refined and dignified woman that had just drifted so beautifully to a stop, their hearts swooned. Su Qiuyu did not care about their gazes or discussions. Beginning from when she got out of her car, her face maintained a slight smile. This was a habit that she grew up with as a child of a major family. That calm and enchanting smile made one feel as if they were cleansed by a spring breeze. When Su Qiuyu arrived at the registration area, she extended her slender jade hand and swiped her bank card. So she was also here to participate in the underground auto race. With this, tonight's race was becoming more and more interesting. After everyone finished registering, the Lamborghini Reventon's headlights flashed again from the top of Coiled Snake Mountain. Wei Xiaolei spoke into the loudspeakers. Everyone's enthusiasm has exceeded my expectations. After tallying it up, there are a total of 105 participants in my underground race. With such fierce competition, I believe that tonight's competition will be extra spectacular. Everyone present is a rich young master, so what we want is stimulation. We want fervor. What do you all say? Do you feel excited? Stimulated? Excited. Stimulated. The underground area suddenly resounded with agreement. With the Reventon and Su Ruoro as prizes, and Sky City's #1 noble beauty Su Qiuyu participating in the race, how could these people not be excited? Very well, then I won't waste everyone's time. Let's let tonight's peak excitement ring out. I'll announce that tonight's underground race at Coiled Snake Mountain officially starts. Challengers, please board your vehicles and await my command. Wei Xiaolei's words made the atmosphere on scene reach a pinnacle. One by one, the audience members got into their cars. Su Qiuyu also walked towards her car with lotus-like steps. When her gaze unintentionally swept over Qin Feng, the warm smile on her face suddenly changed. She looked at Qin Feng with some astonishment. She saw him sitting on an ancient 28 bicycle with his head upturned and admiring the moon. The hazy moonlight shined on his handsome profile, and he looked quiet and peaceful. This scene was like a poem or painting. When comparing this scene to the fervent scene of the beginning of a race on the other side, Su Qiuyu couldn't help but smile lightly. She retracted her gaze, started her engine, and began to warm up. This person is pretty interesting. Over 100 car engines rumbled simultaneously. The sound was like violent thunder rising from the bottom of Coiled Snake Mountain. When Qin Feng saw everyone else warming up, he slowly rode his 28 bicycle, freely weaved through the cars, and went towards the last sports car. This move instantly blinded the spectators. Their surprised chins all fell into the cars. Before, some people saw Qin Feng and ridiculed him when they saw him ride a broken bicycle here to act pretentious. Now, practically all of the racers saw Qin Feng leisurely riding his 28 bicycle past their cars. They lost track of time, and the scene seemed to pause. They wondered if they were hallucinating. A moment later, the world shook with mocking laughter. Damn, did this dude really ride a bicycle to compete? How much water got into his freaking head? Haha, I usually like acting pretentious as well, but today, I've seen the pinnacle of pretentiousness. He's freaking using his life to act pretentious. When the competition starts, the exhaust from my car will kill this idiot. This dude is really stupid. But why does he look kind of familiar? The moon was hazy and most of the audience could only see the side of Qin Feng's face. No one was able to identify that he was Acropolis #1 hedonistic young master. Otherwise, the current scene would probably be completely overturned. After passing Su Qiu-yu's race car, Qin Feng slowed down. Her window was rolled down so her beautiful, refined face burst into view. Su Qiu-yu also looked earnestly at Qin Feng. Their eyes met, and the vehicles brushed past one another. Another high-quality beauty. After leaving the side of Su Qiu-yu's car, Qin Feng couldn't help but sigh. Ding! The hedonist sovereign system has issued a quest. Take down the Sky City Su family's company. Time limit, 3 months. Successful completion reward, 10,000 hedonist points. Upon failure, the host will lose 5 to 10 years of his life. The cold, automated voice suddenly rang in his head. Damn, that's completely uncalled for. You want me to take down the company of Sky City Su family? A company that they had built with their blood, sweat, and tears? Isn't this forcing me to be a bad guy? Qin Feng's righteous heart suddenly broke out and roared with extreme anger. Master, in the system, that Su Qiu-yu is also considered a part of the Sky City Su family's company. Little Pig said with disdain. Then taking down the Sky City Su family's property includes taking Su Qiu-yu. Qin Feng's face changed considerably and he laughed with satisfaction. Very good. This quest is quite humane. All of the luxury vehicles were ready. They were just waiting for Wei Xiaolei at the mountain top to yell start. Wei Xiaolei raised the little colored flag and stood at the peak of Coiled Snake Mountain, overlooking the various luxury cars beneath him. His heart swelled with an unspeakable pride. All of these people here awaited his orders right now. If he said nothing, these idiots could only anxiously wait for the competition to begin. Ready, set, go. After dragging it on for a long time and thoroughly satisfying his vanity, Wei Xiaolei yelled into the loudspeaker. In an instant, the rumble of engines resonated throughout the valley. Their violent and majestic auras were like warriors going out to conquer the universe. Qin Feng's 28 bicycle was at the end. The cars shot forward one by one before his eyes. Not long later, they disappeared after the first curve. At this time, he slowly rode his 28 bicycle towards the racecourse. Damn, is this brat here to visit the market? Right from the beginning, Wei Xiaolei kept an eye on Qin Feng and his movements. When he saw that Qin Feng moved as slow as a turtle, he couldn't help but shout. According to the original plan, Wei Xiaolei planned for Williams to cause an accident during the race. However, if Qin Feng raced at this pace, Williams wouldn't be able to see him, so how could he create an accident? Wei Xiaolei huffily pulled out his cell phone and called Williams. William, I think you'll have to slow down. The brat Qin Feng just started, and he's as slow as a turtle. He hasn't even passed the first curve. In the middle of his speech, Wei Xiaolei suddenly froze. He held his binoculars and looked towards the spot Qin Feng was at previously, but found no trace of him. Brother Wei, then I'll stop my car to the side and wait for him to arrive. Brother Wei, did you say something? Big Brother Wei, are you still there? Wei Xiaolei was flabbergasted, completely flabbergasted. He looked like he had seen a ghost, and he even suspected that he had seen a ghost. Otherwise, how could Qin Feng have gone from the starting line to the middle of the coiled mountain route? His current speed was like a rising rocket. The only difference was that he was a rocket traveling horizontally. Every time he blinked, Wei Xiaolei had to move his binoculars. Qin Feng riding on his 28 bicycle was like an apparition in the darkness, floating and constantly in motion. Not even a minute had passed when he went from being last place to passing the 5th place racer. Big Brother Wei, hurry and say something. The sound of Williams's complaints passed through the phone. He spoke English from start to finish. Once Wei Xiaolei regained his senses from his shocked state, his face immediately darkened. William, I said many times not to call me Big Brother Wei. Call me by my full name Wei Xiaolei. Chapter 116. Chapter 116. Even Guan Yin has come. Wei Xiaolei, I already stopped my car at the side of the road. When will that little brat be here? Wei Xiaolei did a 180-degree turn with his binoculars and said coldly, He already passed you. Fuck. How is that possible? Please don't make that kind of meaningless joke. Williams yelled. This wasn't a joke. It was humiliation. Qin Feng was riding a bicycle. How could he possibly see up to him so quickly? William, I'm not joking with you. You can stay there. Pretty soon, Qin Feng is going to win first place. Wei Xiaolei directly hung up. His expression froze dramatically. Qin Feng was too fast. He was so quick that Wei Xiaolei almost shouted in shock. He now knew why he had lost the race last time when he drove his limited edition Maserati Gran Turismo S. Taking into account Qin Feng's current speed, it would be weird if he didn't win. Qin Feng quickly sped to the second-place position. Currently, first place was held by Sky City's #1 Noble Beauty Su Qiuyu. Originally, Qin Feng could have swished past Su Qiuyu's Audi TT like a rocket, but he purposely slowed down. One of his hands was on the handlebar, while the other hand grabbed at his hair. His expression was melancholic as he looked at the moon in the sky. What are you doing? Su Qiuyu quickly became aware of Qin Feng's existence. Though she was usually calm and collected, she couldn't help but shout in surprise. This scene was too strange. It defied the world she knew. All these years, this was the first time she saw someone that was able to ride a bike so quickly. Su Qiuyu couldn't see Qin Feng's legs clearly. They looked like two electric fans. No, they were faster than electric fans. They were so fast that it was dizzying. Beautiful. I'm admiring the moon. Qin Feng looked flirtatiously at Su Qiuyu. This moon is also another moon? Su Qiuyu was really smart. She immediately understood the implications behind Qin Feng's words. The last word of her name was you. So his words were clearly a confession? As Sky City's #1 Noble Beauty, Su Qiuyu couldn't remember how many confessions she had received. She received these confessions in countless strange ways, but until now, she felt Qin Feng's was the most original and shocking. You have to be careful since you're going so quickly. Other than shock, Su Qiuyu had no other intentions towards Qin Feng. She gave him a polite reminder and began to drive at ease. Qin Feng noticed that Su Qiuyu regarded him calmly. He hesitated about whether or not he should tell her. In the future, you're going to become my woman, and the Su family's business will also be mine. In the end, he got rid of this idea. He was afraid that if these words came out, either Su Qiuyu's car would flip into the valley or his 28 bicycle would be pushed into it instead. He steadied his heart and sped up again. At this time, he already went up over half of the mountain. He was a bit anxious, and his speed was at the limit. Roar! Su Qiuyu felt the ground shake. Then, Qin Feng and his 28 bicycle transformed into a wave of air that suddenly disappeared into the finish line up ahead. Here, Qin Feng looked at his watch, 9 minutes and 28 seconds. He recalled that when he drove his Batmobile in the past, his record was 15 minutes and 36 seconds. When he got to the mountaintop, Qin Feng casually tossed his 28 bicycle to the side and quickly rushed behind Wei Xiaolei. Wei Xiaolei did not suspect anything and was currently holding his binoculars and scanning all the areas of the mountain path. He muttered to himself, "Where's Qin Feng? Why the fuck is he gone?" "Young Master Wei, were you looking for me?" Qin Feng's voice suddenly drifted from behind Wei Xiaolei, scaring him so much that he threw the binoculars in his hands. When did you? Wei Xiaolei looked at Qin Feng in fright. He only uttered half of his sentence when a slap flew towards him. Pow! This slap rang clearly. Wei Xiaolei's howl of pain rumbled throughout the valley. "Didn't you really want to see me? I came as quickly as I could so I could have some fun with you." Pow! While he said this, another slap swept over and swelled up the other half of Wei Xiaolei's face. "How dare you touch the women near me? You fucking don't want to live anymore." Pow pow. Don't think that because I look talented, genial, kind, and like I have a big heart, you'd be able to find an excuse to bully my people. Pow pow pow. I'll have you know that I won't set about hitting those who bully me, but I will talk to you about general truths. I must use virtue to win over people. I'll penetrate your soul and help you achieve nirvana. Pow 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 pow. Even Qin Feng wasn't sure how many times he slapped Wei Xiaolei, but when his hand began to hurt, he stopped. Wei Xiaolei was no longer the handsome and arrogant Wei Xiaolei from before. Qin Feng could no longer recognize him. At a glance, he looked like a relative of Zhu Beiji. Wei Xiaolei, who was beaten into looking like a pig, could not even cry. Even a slight shift in his expression was so painful that it felt like something was tearing his heart and splitting his lungs. He really wanted to shout at Qin Feng. Didn't you fucking say you win over people with virtue and that you don't use your fists but you reason with them? You're a big fucking liar. But now, he couldn't even cry out, so there was no way he could yell at someone. The noise outside was so loud that the bodyguard weighing over Su Ruoro walked down. He saw that there was another person at the mountaintop, so he immediately ran before Qin Feng and asked Qin Feng warningly, "Hey brat, where did you come from? Where's young Master Wei?" Qin Feng pointed at Wei Xiaolei. Before he could speak, the bodyguard yelled in shock, "Fuck, that pig has cultivated itself and combined a human and a pig. What kind of holy being are you, and where did you come from?" Wei Xiaolei's bodyguard was not lacking in IQ. However, Qin Feng's bike riding was too quick, and he came and went without a trace. Thus, the bodyguard could not imagine where Qin Feng and the pig-headed man came from. "Since you've discovered a mystery only known by the heavens, we seem to have been brought together by fate. This here is the envoy Zhu Beiji, and I'm the victor of battles, Sun Wukong. We followed Tang Song to retrieve Buddhist scriptures in the West, but we got separated. Now, we're looking for the master. Hurry and look, even Guanyin is here." Qin Feng had a face of complete seriousness and pointed behind the bodyguard. The bodyguard was covered in cold sweat. In this dark night, he stood at the top of Coiled Snake Mountain. The surroundings were completely black, and there was even an icy breeze. Now, there were suddenly two strangers that said extremely ridiculous things. In the heat of the moment, the bodyguard believed Qin Feng and turned his head to look behind him. He was prepared to meet Guanyin with her glowing halo descending from the heavens, but all he saw was the pie-black mountain range from before. Thump! Qin Feng slapped the bodyguard on the back of his head, and he fainted. Wei Xiaolei weighed everything unfold before his eyes. While weighing, there were a good many times where he had the urge to jump off a cliff. He laughed when he thought about how he spent 20,000 yuan on this bodyguard. Chapter 117. Chapter 117. Another competition. Qin Feng, is that you? Su Ruoro asked cautiously while peeking out of the car. Ruoro, it's me. Hurry and admire the moon with me. Su Ruoro's worried little heart calmed down. She ran out of the car and rushed into Qin Feng's arms. Qin Feng, I was scared to death. These are all bad people. When he saw Su Ruoro's slightly red and swollen face and the 5-finger marks that hadn't completely faded, he did all he could to control his emotions. He didn't want to show a vicious expression in front of Su Ruoro. Does it hurt? He lightly caressed Su Ruoro's injured face and asked. Su Ruoro gritted her teeth, shook her head, nursed her head, and looked at Qin Feng with determination. Qin Feng, let's head back. Qin Feng touched Su Ruoro's soft hair. Wait a bit longer. I have to make the person that bullied you regret they were ever born. As she lay in Qin Feng's embrace, Su Ruoro felt that the world quieted. She felt safety and peacefulness that she'd never experienced before. Suddenly, a ridiculous idea came to mind. If she became Qin Feng's woman, she would definitely be really happy. Qin Feng got to the mountaintop, gave Wei Xiaolei a beating, idiotically reenacted Journey to the West, hugged Su Ruoro, and sat for a while on the mountaintop admiring the moon when the sound of a car finally drifted over. The first to arrive was a man with curly blonde hair who drove a flashy red Ferrari. After stopping the car, he hurriedly ran out. He saw Qin Feng and Su Ruoro's backs. Where is Big Brother Wei? If you want Viagra, you have to buy it at the drugstore. There clearly isn't any here. Qin Feng comforted Su Ruoro by rubbing her thigh and said this to Williams at the same time. Where's young Master Wei? Williams fell quiet for a while and then asked in a different way. Qin Feng casually pointed in a direction. Wei Xiaolei was currently sitting and drawing circles. Williams hurriedly ran over. When he saw Wei Xiaolei, he jumped in fright. Fuck, is this a pig or a person? Have you seen young Master Wei? Wei Xiaolei almost sprayed fresh blood out of his mouth. He pointed at his own nose. William, look clearly, I'm Wei Xiaolei. Williams looked at Wei Xiaolei again more closely, but he still couldn't recognize him. However, he confirmed his identity through his voice and ran over. He did all he could to suppress his smile. Young Master Wei, what time is it? You're still in the mood to bring a pig's head to scare people? Then what about Qin Feng? I flew up the mountain wildly, but I didn't see him. Could he have ran off after riding half of the course? William spoke English, but this didn't cause any difficulties for Qin Feng. From his youth, Qin Feng went to America every year for vacation. In order to pick up girls, he forced himself to practice until he could speak fluent English. Wei Xiaolei didn't know what to say. He suddenly thought of how Williams was extraordinarily strong. Now that Qin Feng was sitting at the mountaintop, wouldn't it be more straightforward if William threw Qin Feng into the ravine? Once this idea came to mind, the discouraged Wei Xiaolei suddenly stood. He was about to exchange gazes with Williams when the sound of a car rumbled from down the mountain. Then, a Porsche 911 arrived at the top, and a beautiful and elegant woman wearing a qipao leisurely stepped out of it. Damn, the curse resounded in Wei Xiaolei's heart, and all he could do was temporarily cancel his intentions of killing Qin Feng. Once Su Qiuyu got out of the car, she surveyed the area. She knew that Qin Feng had passed her on the course long ago. She didn't find it strange when she saw Qin Feng sitting there, but when she saw Williams and the red Ferrari parked to the side, her beautiful face that was normally calm like water shifted slightly. She thought her driving skills were out of the ordinary, and that she was even better than some professional racers. She didn't think that this big and tall foreign-looking man would be faster than her. It appears that he's also not an ordinary person. Williams naturally wasn't an ordinary person. His driving skills were not ordinary, his talent wasn't ordinary, and his family background was even more unordinary. He was a professional first-place winning race car driver in America. He only interacted with these amateurs because he was looking for excitement. He wasn't on the same level as the rich young masters that did street races and picked up girls. Because his driving skills were so outstanding, Wei Xiaolei specifically looked for Williams as a surefire way to take care of Qin Feng during the course of the race. Not long after Su Qiuyu's arrival, more luxury cars continued to stream in. Soon, the empty mountaintop became extremely crowded and bustling. When these people knew that they didn't win first place and that they brushed shoulders with the Reventon and that beautiful pure girl, one by one, they hung their heads in disappointment. At this time, Wei Xiaolei and Williams sat in the Reventon. Wei Xiaolei didn't want these people to see what he currently looked like, so he held the loudspeaker and yelled from inside the car. It seems that almost everyone has reached the mountaintop. The first place winner of this underground race has already appeared. According to the agreement, I will award both this Reventon and that little beauty to him. If there's nothing else, we can adjourn this meeting. Tonight's plans didn't progress normally. Not only was Qin Feng still alive, Wei Xiaolei was beaten into having a pig's head. How could he be satisfied? Now, he wanted to get rid of some extraneous people. When there was only Qin Feng left on Coiled Snake Mountain's peak, he'd have Williams make his move on him. After hearing that first place was already taken by someone else, these rich young masters felt that staying would be meaningless. Thus, they left in groups of 3 or 4 to relax at the bar and foot massage places. One by one, the sounds of the luxury cars' engines rumbled through the valley as they sped down the road. Soon, very few people were left on the mountaintop. Miss Su, is there anything else? Everyone had left, but Su Qiuyu still stood at the mountaintop. Wei Xiaolei's eyes flashed with coldness. It's quite dangerous to stay on this desolate mountaintop at night. Isn't young Master Wei here? What danger could there be? Su Qiuyu smiled lightly. Her gaze carefully swept over the area. A black shadow quickly concealed itself. The moon from Coiled Snake Mountain is big and round. I still want to stay here for a bit longer. Su Qiuyu had no intention of leaving. Wei Xiaolei was at a bit of a loss. He saw Qin Feng hugging Su Ruoro and sitting at the edge of the mountaintop, so he wanted to kick him from the back to send him tumbling down the ravine where his bones would shatter and his body would be torn to shreds. But now that Su Qiuyu was here, he couldn't openly do this. Wei Xiaolei and Williams exchanged glances. A cold smile flashed through Williams' eyes, and he muttered into Wei Xiaolei's ear. Wei Xiaolei's lips slowly curved upwards, revealing a cold smile. Qinfeng, would you dare compete with Williams? Suddenly, Wei Xiaolei and Williams arrived behind Qinfeng. Qinfeng hadn't left because he was waiting for the opportunity to get rid of these two. Now that he saw Wei Xiaolei presenting himself at his doorstep, he stood with a chuckle. Didn't I just beat that oaf with my bicycle already? What else is there to compete in? Williams could not accept this. He thought of how he drove a race car but was beaten by a little brat riding a bicycle and felt so angry that he wanted to beat someone up. Wei Xiaolei immediately gave Williams a look. Williams used his strength to rein in his anger. He stood to the side and glared viciously at Qinfeng. Wei Xiaolei said, Qinfeng, I'll admit that you bike really quickly, but since this is a car race, Williams is not satisfied with his loss. I hope you can drive a race car and compete with him again. What does him being dissatisfied have to do with me? As long as I'm happy, then it's fine, Qinfeng said indifferently. Williams was so angry that he was about to spit blood. Wei Xiaolei also forcefully suppressed his anger and continued. Qinfeng, Williams said that if you win this competition, he'll give you his Ferrari 458. Williams' Ferrari 458 was at least 5 million on the market, so Wei Xiaolei didn't believe that this wouldn't entice Qinfeng. Okay, then can we start the competition now? Qinfeng suddenly asked. Wei Xiaolei didn't expect him to respond so quickly. He nodded stupidly. Why yeah, we can start now. Qinfeng suddenly laughed. Young Master Wei, you only said that if Williams loses he'll give me his Ferrari, but you didn't mention my punishment if I were to lose. You've clearly set a trap. Didn't you make this too obvious? Don't tell me you were going to try some funny business on me during the race course? The corner of Wei Xiaolei's mouth tweaked. He felt that he was too hasty. He immediately cleared his throat and said with seriousness, That's right, I almost forgot about that. If you lose, then return the Maserati Gran Turismo you won from me. Qinfeng thought a bit and finally remembered. Oh, that Maserati. That was taken by a junk-collecting old man as scrap metal. I didn't ask for money. Wei Xiaolei felt as though someone brutally stabbed him in the heart. That was his favorite car, and it was reduced to the value of scrap metal. He gnashed his teeth and said, Then let's bet on the Reventon you've just won. If you lose, that car will be Williams. That's no good. This Reventon is worth 10 million and that Ferrari is only 5 million. They are clearly not on the same level. Qinfeng shook his head. Wei Xiaolei felt like he was about to explode. He had the urge to just let Williams go and get rid of him. But he saw Su Qiuyu who was standing to the side, so he suppressed this urge. Then what do you say we should do? Qinfeng walked up beside Su Qiuyu and said with a smile, Beauty Su, can I borrow your Porsche? If I win the competition, I'll give you the Ferrari. If I lose, I'll give you the Reventon. Su Qiuyu looked long and hard at Qinfeng. After a moment of hesitation, she nodded. Go ahead and use it. If the rich young masters of Sky City saw this scene, they would stare in disbelief. Su Qiuyu was dignified and virtuous. She treated everyone with the same refined and courteous manner. But she had a clear baseline. She had never even let any man get in her car, so it was unheard of that she would lend her car to Qinfeng and let him drive it as she did now. Chapter 118. Chapter 118. Car flying in midair. I'll use the Porsche to race with you. We can start now. When Qinfeng got the keys, he immediately stepped into Su Qiuyu's car. The inside of the car smelled fresh and fragrant like its owner. He started the engine, tested out the necessary functions of the car, opened the window, and then smilingly shouted at Su Ruoro. Ruoro, get in. Su Ruoro stood on the dark mountaintop and felt quite afraid. She hurriedly boarded the car. There were many reasons why Qinfeng agreed to this competition. For one thing, he had gotten intermediate racing skills from the system a while ago, but never got to use them. Now, he could try them out. At the same time, Qinfeng also wanted to bring Su Ruoro along. and used this competition to give her a taste of excitement and craziness. Maybe it would help her fix her weak and gentle personality. Of course, what was most important was that Qin Feng wanted to see what Wei Xiaolei and Williams were up to. He didn't mind causing an accident during the race to kill that Williams. The race was about to begin. Qin Feng and Williams got into position and stopped their cars at the start line. This race was just for a short distance. It started at the mountaintop and ended after the first curve on the path down the mountain. Williams' mouth curved into a disdainful smile when he saw that Qin Feng even put a passenger in his car. As a professional racer, he completely understood the importance of a car's weight in relation to speed and control. Thus, race car drivers strictly controlled their weight for fear that if they got too much fatter or thinner, this might affect the weight of the car and create some mistakes. Today, when he saw how Qin Feng so casually put someone in his car, Williams already understood his skill level. He only treated Qin Feng as an amateur racer and had the expression of someone who already had the win in his grasp. 3, 2, 1, go. When Wei Xiaolei's voice fell, the two race cars set off at the same time. The low rumbling sounded like a flood beast hiding in the valley. Williams didn't have the title of a professional racer for nothing. Once he set off, he kept shifting gears. Within the span of a few breaths, the speed of the car hit its maximum and left Qin Feng in the dust. At this time, Qin Feng's face was filled with shock. His shock was not due to Williams's speed, but because of his suddenly nature-defying driving skills. Right when the car set off, a series of memories flashed through his head. His body seemed to have a mind of its own as it performed a series of extremely complicated moves. He sped up, stepped on the CLU, shifted gears, and drifted. Though he tried some racing before, his prior racing skills were nothing compared to the mastery of skills he currently possessed. He already felt like he had become one with the car, like he was the one flying on the road. Qin Feng, slow down. We're going to fall off the cliff. Qin Feng, it's really scary. Su Ruo's screams kept passing through Qin Feng's ears. She was so scared that she burst into tears. She wasn't used to this kind of speed, and the constantly shifting road made her eyes spin. Then, under this speed, Qin Feng reacted precisely. He held control over the direction and moved stably forward. Su Ruo was so scared that she didn't dare open her eyes. Time and time again, she saw the edge of the car line up with the edge of the cliff and her heart stopped. Qin Feng smiled. The more Su Ruo screamed, the more excited he became. He could feel his extraordinary racing skills that allowed him to do as he pleased. He drifted beautifully and turned the car around. Then, he drove in reverse and raced with Williams that way. Su Ruo peeked through her fingers and saw that the scene before her eyes changed. Her screams were enough to shatter the sky, and she weighed the winding mountainous paths quickly zoom away. She finally realized Qin Feng was driving backwards. After reversing, Qin Feng fell serious. He used his full abilities and his previously acquired Stage 2 external techniques and Stage 1 internal techniques. His reaction speed and agility surpassed that of normal people. His continuous, lightning-fast, stick-shifting movements became a mirage. Under these manipulations, the black Porsche 911 was extremely fast but still very stable. It was like a speeding cheetah. Very quickly, he caught up to Williams. Shit. When he saw Qin Feng CA up, Williams jumped in shock. This guy was playing and driving backwards. His ego suffered a colossal blow. With his eyes ablaze, he looked at the last curve before the finish line. Williams's body brimmed with murderous intent. Stinking brat, who told you to show off? Wait until you fall off the cliff and shatter your bones. Williams cursed and suddenly turned his steering wheel. Turned his car into the inner part of the road. Qin Feng and Williams were already right next to one another, so his car shifted closer to the cliff. Both cars sped towards the curve and drifted simultaneously. Williams kept his car close to the inner portion of the road and drew a beautiful arc. On the outer portion of the road, Qin Feng also drifted. He drifted backwards, so it felt even more thrilling and strange. The two cars were neck to neck like before. It was almost as if they were staging a racing performance. But then, the distance between the cars slightly broadened. While reversing and drifting, The back of Qin Feng's car slowly surpassed the front of Williams's car. Suddenly, Williams swayed directions and crashed his car into Qin Feng's. Bang! Due to the vicious crash, both cars lost a bit of control. Williams was prepared, so he quickly stabilized his car. The Porsche was pushed near the edge of the cliff, and the whole car was lifted off the ground. Su Ruoro screamed non-stop the whole time while Qin Feng's expression was completely calm and composed. His hands continued to move quickly. Then, Williams saw something that stunned him. Qin Feng controlled the Porsche 911 so that even though only 2 of the tires were on the mountain path and the other 2 were soaring off the edge of the cliff, he was still speeding forwards. The mountain path was not straight, but all the way to the curve, Qin Feng seemed to be driving on flat land. He continued to rush on using 2 tires. Suddenly, he furrowed his brows, removed his flying dragon armor, shouted, jumped, and slammed his fist at the roof of the car. With 6 times the strength of a normal person, a total of 600 kilograms, falling onto the roof, the car flew towards the inner portion of the mountain path. Su Ruoro already forgot how to scream. The instant the car flew upwards, she thought she was going to die. She looked at Qin Feng with some regret. Qin Feng, I'm sorry, this was all my fault. Qin Feng merely smiled at Su Ruoro and punched at the roof a second time. When the second fist fell, the Porsche spun 360 degrees in midair. Williams gaped. He weighed the car fly over him, and with a rumble, Qin Feng's Porsche smashed a dent into the roof of his car. Chapter 119. Chapter 119. An individual with special abilities. Swish, swish. The 2 cars zoomed forward like before, but Qin Feng's car sat atop Williams. The tail of his car extended past the front of Williams' Ferrari a bit. Williams quickly braked and the cars came to a complete stop. Since Williams' car carried Qin Feng's, when he got to the finish line, he was not the winner. This was an explosively exciting race. Su Qiuyu and Wei Xiaolei were dumbstruck. Su Ruoro, who was sitting in the car, stuck her head out the window and fell into a vomiting spell. Qin Feng leisurely opened the door and jumped onto Williams's Ferrari before hopping onto the ground. He arrived beside Su Ruoro and carried her off the car. Ruoro, how do you feel? Did you feel the thrill? Qin Feng smiled and then shook his head. No, that's not right. You felt it before. I wonder what that's like. Su Ruoro's face turned completely red. She didn't know what to say to Qin Feng. She still felt dizzy and her world was still spinning. She was like a drunkard and needed Qin Feng's support to walk. Qin Feng, what happened? Wei Xiaolei hurriedly drove over with Su Qiuyu in the Reventon. He saw Williams' flattened Ferrari and suddenly felt a bad premonition. Is Williams still in the car? Probably. I didn't see him come out, Qin Feng said nonchalantly. Right from the get-go, he knew Wei Xiaolei teamed up with this American dude to harm him. Thus, Qin Feng decided to make the first move. In the competition earlier, he intentionally drove his car so that it spun in the air and smashed on top of Williams's Ferrari. Qin Feng shook his head at the Ferrari with its roof smashed in. Wei Xiaolei's entire face twisted. He had originally planned to kill Qin Feng, but Qin Feng didn't die. Instead, Williams died first. Wei Xiaolei was left as a general without an army. He acknowledged that he could not beat Qin Feng and looked at the scene before him with despair. Thump! Suddenly, the flattened Ferrari began to move. With an enormous bang, the Porsche 911 on top of it began to sway. Bang! The banging became increasingly louder, and bits of rock fell from the side of the cliff. The Porsche sitting on top of the Ferrari swayed even more. With a rumble, it fell onto the road, rolled a couple of times, and fell off the cliff. Rumble. Seconds later, an explosion resounded in the valley. In an instant, this over 2 million yuan race car became waste. But no one paid attention to the falling Porsche. Their eyes were all glued to the red Ferrari. After another loud noise, the Ferrari's roof was lifted. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed, tall-nosed man leapt onto the top of the car. He smiled evilly at Qin Feng. This was the Williams that the spectators thought was smashed to death. Qin Feng, I'm going to crush you. This yell was like an enraged beast, and it shook the whole valley. With a casual wave, the ceiling he supported flew over at full speed. He did this with the ease of tossing a pebble. Qin Feng's eyes narrowed. He lightly tapped the tip of his foot on the ground, sent his whole body flying, and avoided the colossal car roof. Thump! The roof fell onto the mountain path and stood vertically. It dug half a meter into the floor. Williams, kill him. Wei Xiaolei's blood boiled when he saw this scene. He could tell that Williams was infuriated by Qin Feng. Originally, the two planned to covertly eliminate Qin Feng, but they both lost their patience. Now, they wanted to just openly kill this brat. As the privileged son of the William family, Williams was someone with innately extraordinary strength. When he was 3 years old, he could lift a rock over 50 kilograms. The currently 23-year-old Williams could break out in a strength of close to 500 kilograms. What does this mean? Based on Williams' strength alone, he was comparable to a Stage 8 external expert. He didn't need Wei Xiaolei to remind him what to do. Since Williams was already bloodthirsty, once he saw that his move didn't make impact, he suddenly jumped off the car roof and charged towards Qin Feng while brandishing his fists. This sudden and unforeseen event caught Qin Feng off guard. When he saw that Williams was as imposing as a tiger, he didn't initiate any moves. Instead, he observed his strength. Bang! A fist fell, and Qin Feng quickly dodged it. Williams' fist smashed into the cliff behind him, leaving a fist mark. At this point, Qin Feng could tell that Williams wasn't unarmed. He wore a full set of gloves containing flickering winter light on his fists. When it swished past his ear, he could feel a bone-piercing coldness. Judging by Williams' punch, there was at least 400 or 450 kilograms of power, so he was at least a Stage 7 external techniques expert. This was Qin Feng's first time meeting such a strong opponent. Last time, he fought Uncle Feng at the Amethyst Dragon Palace, but he was only a Stage 4 external expert. At this day, after winning over the Stage 4 internal expert Liang Zhenwei, Qin Feng had the confidence to win over people with Stage 4 or 5 external techniques. However, he felt a bit of despair when he saw Williams' sudden explosiveness. A Stage 7 expert was not someone Qin Feng could battle at this time. What he practices isn't external techniques or inner chi either. He has special abilities relating to strength. Qin Feng jumped when he heard Su Qiu use pleasant and gentle voice drift over. One with special abilities. This was the first time he heard of this. He wondered how different these people were from those who practiced martial arts in China. Miss Qiu, what is someone with special abilities? Qin Feng asked while dodging Williams's ferocious attacks. There are two types of special abilities. One is innate, while the other is acquired. Every person with special abilities has either one or a couple of special abilities. For example, there are those with strength powers that are born with superior strength. Those with fire powers can release fire. Su Qiu's shapely eyebrows furrowed. She said urgently, but other than their special abilities, their other functions are no different from normal people. Stinking whore. Shut your freaking mouth. Since he had already decided to kill Qin Feng in front of Su Qiu, Wei Xiaolei dropped his facade in front of her as well. With a sinister expression, he pounced at her. Bye. I'm going to kill you. Wei Xiaolei thought to himself that he was glad he was a man. He should have no problems going against a weak and gentle woman like Su Qiu. However, he hadn't even touched Su Qiu's body when she leapt into the air. Her body was as light as water, and her moves were as gentle and beautiful as a flower. The tip of her toes kicked Wei Xiaolei in the face. The kick was so powerful that it sent Wei Xiaolei flying. She gracefully dropped back onto the ground with an expression as calm as water. She didn't look at the fallen Wei Xiaolei. The soft moonlight shined onto her beautiful face, and she looked like an extraordinary fairy. Due to Su Qiu's explanation, Qin Feng came to a sudden realization. No wonder he thought William's attacks were problematic. He was extremely strong, and every time he attacked, rocks would be sent flying with explosive noises. But, from start to finish, he hadn't hit Qin Feng once. He hadn't even touched Qin Feng's body. Because he only had strength powers, he was only strong and couldn't compare to Qin Feng in regards to speed. During these constant attacks, William's patience had worn thin and his moves became messy. Before, there was a method to his madness, but now, he had become a crazy cow that just relied on his strength to punch recklessly. Qin Feng, besides freaking running, what else can you do? If you have the guts, stay still and let me punch you, Williams shouted angrily. Qin Feng looked at him with disdain. Why don't you stand still and let me kick you? Though he said this, Qin Feng already found the pattern in Williams' movements through his prior observations. He suddenly stopped evading and viciously pounced at his opponent. At the same time, he removed the weight of his flying dragon armor and used his inner chi to move faster. The current Qin Feng was so fast, he looked like a flash of lightning. Williams was dumbstruck. Once he saw that Qin Feng didn't run away and ran towards him instead, he slowly became excited and thought he could finally beat up this brat. But, in the blink of an eye, he realized that Qin Feng disappeared. With another blink, oh my god, Qin Feng appeared above his head holding a sharp and glowing sword that popped out of nowhere. Blondie, don't move and let this young master slice you. Qin Feng smiled. At the same time, the sword in his hand fell. This slice was a flash of cold steel shaped like a rainbow with enough strength to slice through mountains and rivers. Williams's light blue eyes were extremely fast. He instinctively punched upwards. Rumble. Fist and sword collided, and a rumble echoed through the valley like thunder. An enormous strength struck the true steel sword and sent Qin Feng flying with blood spraying from his mouth. On the other hand, Williams was largely unaffected. All he did was retreat a couple of steps. Haha, stinking brat. Who cares if you're fast? With your meager strength, you clearly haven't eaten yet. There's no way you can harm me, Williams cackled arrogantly. Qin Feng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at Williams' gloves containing flickering winter light. His true steel sword could not cut through it. Liang Jinwei had an ox tendon whip made of a rare wild ox's tendon as the main ingredient which he sewed together with leather, yet it was still sliced in two by the true steel sword. These gloves with the flickering winter light seemed to be a pretty good tool. Qin Feng, I'll help you. A fragrant scent wafted into his nose. Qin Feng saw Su Qiuyu standing beside him, but he had no idea when she got there. As usual, she was calm and composed, but her body became turbulent and a red fan appeared in her hand. The fan was made of a special material that was neither wood nor gold. Since she was holding it, it was clear that she intended to use it as a weapon. Chapter 120. Chapter 120, Winter Iron Gloves. Little beauty, don't be anxious. Your older brother will satisfy your body after I take care of this brat Qin Feng. Williams clearly didn't consider Su Qiuyu as a threat. He gazed vulgarly at her limber body. I don't need your help. Hurry and run. Don't be mistaken. I'm not helping you. I'm helping myself, Su Qiuyu said indifferently. Since Wei Xiaolei and Williams already tore off their masks, even if Su Qiuyu didn't make a move, the two of them would make a move on her later, so she thought it would be better to join hands with Qin Feng now. I know, that's why I told you to hurry up and run. Even if there's the two of us, we might not be able to beat him. Qin Feng had long seen the conclusion Su Qiuyu had come to. From her movements, Qin Feng could tell that she currently possessed stage 4 abilities. She clearly was no ma for Williams. If she joined the fight, Qin Feng would only get distracted because he would have to take care of her as well. But Su Qiuyu wanted to say something else when Qin Feng roughly pushed her away and shouted, Hurry and run. If you don't leave now, then it'll be too late. Su Qiuyu looked at Qin Feng with uncertainty. Then, she suddenly pounced at Qin Feng and hugged him tightly but very briefly. Take care. He weighed her beautiful image quickly disappear and shouted, Drive that Reventon away. You want to leave? You have to get permission from this elder first. Williams growled and rushed forward while brandishing his large fists. Qin Feng held the glowing, faint yellow true steel sword with a lonesome smile and met the fists with his sword. Flashes of the sword shot out in all directions. The valley gently swayed. With the elementary sword skills, his moves were much better. With his speed, he was able to dodge Williams's attacks. After 10 consecutive clashes of sword and fist, there was still no way of telling who was winning. Qin Feng, don't fucking run anymore. If you have the guts, be a man and let's have a close combat fight. Williams chased Qin Feng from the top of the mountain to its halfway point. He was so tired that he was wheezing. Qin Feng stopped. His gaze swept over the bottom of the mountain. When he saw that Su Qiuyu had left safely, he smiled. Okay, then you have to see my blade. Qin Feng had just finished speaking when he violently sped up, brandished his sword, and pounced at Williams. Williams had trouble hiding his expression of excitement and contempt. As long as Qin Feng dared to come into close combat, he had confidence that he would be able to beat him into ground meat. The two got closer and closer. Qin Feng's sword sliced downwards and Williams bellowed and waved his large iron fists to meet the blow. Rumble. Fist and sword met again with a noise similar to that of a powerful army. Qin Feng was sent into the air by the punch. He looked like a kite with its string cut off. Williams's eyes filled with mirth. This time, he didn't give Qin Feng any chance to breathe and immediately rushed forward with another vicious punch aimed towards Qin Feng's head. Qin Feng kept his eyes shut. He looked as though he was about to faint. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly, shifting the blood stains with it. This scene was strange. He suddenly opened his eyes, tapped the tip of his foot on the ground, lifted off the ground as if he were as light as a sparrow, and arrived behind Williams. Then, he gave a light palm. This palm was soft and light. It seemed a lot more like the caress of a lover's jade back than a move in a fight. Buzz. The sound of this falling palm didn't shake the valley. It was very low, and seemed like a violent storm, continuous and uninterrupted. Boom, 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 boom. William's body seemed like it had a bomb on it. This time, he detonated, and the sound of explosions repeated continuously. Like before, he was still in his attack pose, but his body stood on the ground like a statue. He didn't move for a long time. A mouthful of fresh blood spilled out. Then, a second mouthful came out. He kept spitting blood until all of the blood in his body was depleted. His eyes were still filled with shock. He didn't think that Qin Feng was a Chinese martial artist that cultivated both internal and external techniques. His palm used inner qi. It seemed to land on his back, but the explosive qi flow pressed his internal organs and shattered them. Qin Feng, you dare to kill me? The William family will never forgive you. After saying this, William's breathing stopped completely. He had just died when Wei Xiaolei dragged Su Ru down from the top of the mountain. Qin Feng, hurry and tie your hands and prepare to be captured. Otherwise, I'll kill this pretty girl. But, at this time, William still retained in an attacking posture and stood there. The sky was dark, so Wei Xiaolei didn't detect anything out of the ordinary. William, what are you doing? Hurry and punch Qin Feng's brains out. Hurry and freaking move. I have Qin Feng's little lover in my hands. He won't dare act blindly. Fuck, what time is it? You're in the mood to fucking pose? Wei Xiaolei yelled until his throat was hoarse, but Williams didn't move at all. If he really did move, Qin Feng would be shocked to death. A flying blade with flickering winter light suddenly appeared in his hands. With a shake of his hand, the flying blade flew like electricity. A second later, it landed between Wei Xiaolei's eyebrows. Ah, Qin Feng. Once Su Ru felt Wei Xiaolei's grip loosen, she shouted in fear and ran crazily towards Qin Feng. Qin Feng opened his arms with a smile and welcomed this beautiful little lady. Qin Feng, let's go. Let's hurry and leave. She dived into Qin Feng's embrace and hugged him hard. She wanted to squeeze her body into Qin Feng's chest. Okay, we'll go now. Let's grab the bike on the mountaintop. There was no way Qin Feng could lose his precious 28 bicycle. After this night of shock, Su Ru suddenly felt the call of nature. After walking halfway, she looked at Qin Feng apologetically. Qin Feng, I have to relieve myself. Qin Feng looked at Williams and Wei Xiaolei's corpses and then looked at the blushing Su Ru. He touched her soft hair and said, Go, I'll wait here for you. And bring our bicycle down while you're at it. Su Ru immediately ran away shyly. After sending Su Ru away, Qin Feng arrived before the two corpses. Because the sky was dark, Su Ru didn't know they were dead. Qin Feng intentionally sent her away so he could take care of the bodies. Since Su Ruo's personality was too soft, Qin Feng didn't want her to see the overly dirty and dark side of the world. When he arrived beside Williams, he squatted. His gaze fell on Williams' fists. The gloves containing flickering winter light clashed with Qin Feng's true steel sword over 100 times. Yet they did not suffer any damage and still looked as good as new. This was an absolute treasure. Qin Feng didn't think too much and took the gloves off Williams' hands. When he held the gloves, a gust of bone-chilling wind swept over him. Qin Feng shivered from head to toe. His fatigue vanished like smoke, and he was filled with an unspeakable vitality. Winter iron gloves, equipment grade, white rank upper grade weapon. Crafted with 1,000-year winter iron as its primary material and strong without comparison, it can collapse mountains and crush rocks. Its natural winter iron properties makes the wearer ice cold from head to toe and clears their determination. It also increases battle endurance and precision. The cold voice of the system rang and scared Qin Feng. Who knew the system also had identification abilities? Chapter 121. Chapter 121. Under the heavens, no banquets last forever. Qin Feng looked at the winter iron gloves in his hands. This thing was a pretty good treasure. Its equipment grade was a level higher than the flying dragon armor, but a bit lower than the true steel sword. Qin Feng thought of his intermediate Thunder Tiger Fist technique. Now that he had this pair of winter iron gloves, he was sure his abilities would increase significantly. As of today, Qin Feng had dual internal and external cultivations and could fight in both long and short distances. Master, you can store this pair of winter iron gloves in the system. Little Pig's voice rang out. Qin Feng was a bit startled. I thought the system could only store items from it? After asking, he felt that something was wrong. Last time when he was in the North District Sub-Bureau prison, Codename Y gave him a mysterious black box that was also placed into the system. Master, the system can store all items with spiritual qi. This pair of winter iron gloves clearly possesses spiritual qi, so it can be stored. This time, Qin Feng understood. With a slight thought, the winter iron gloves in his hands went into the system. After taking what he wanted, Qin Feng had to deal with the bodies. SSSSSSS. Qin Feng was about to toss the bodies into the valley when Black Turtle in the system excitedly stuck out his scarlet tongue. Little Pig, what is this thing saying? Qin Feng had an expression of helplessness. Little Pig was even more helpless than Qin Feng. Black Turtle said he hasn't had any meat for 2 days already. He wants Master to let him out. He wants to eat humans. Fuck. Qin Feng bellowed internally. This Black Turtle was too cute. He was just in the middle of worrying about how to handle the corpses. If he tossed them into the valley, it was very likely someone would discover them and find some clues. There was nothing better than having them disappear completely. With a thought from Qin Feng, Black Turtle arrived beside his feet. When he looked down, Qin Feng was scared stiff. He had not paid attention to Black Turtle for 2 days, and he had doubled in size again. Before, he was as big as a wash basin. Now, he was as big as half a bathtub. Qin Feng did not need to give any instructions. Black Turtle shifted his big fat body and slowly crawled up to Williams. The vicious mini-banded kite suddenly opened its large bloody mouth and swallowed Williams whole. The body of the mini-banded kite expanded. One person was clearly not enough to satiate his hunger. Without waiting to digest Williams, he crawled before Wei Xiaolei and opened his large bloody mouth again. Not even 5 minutes later, both people disappeared. Burp. After eating 2 people in succession, Black Turtle belched with a full stomach. He happily crawled around Qin Feng. Qin Feng's eyes widened and his jaw dropped in shock. He realized that after eating 2 people, Black Turtle grew again. Qin Feng suddenly felt that he couldn't bring Black Turtle around anymore. This guy could eat too well. Most importantly, Qin Feng wasn't able to let him grow freely. According to his growth speed, if he stayed in the Qin manor, he would scare away all members of the Qin household. Master, Black Turtle was originally an aquatic battle pet. I advise Master to raise him in the ocean to bring out his abilities, Little Pig recommended. This recommendation made what he had thought before. Long ago, he had wanted to throw Black Turtle into the ocean to fend for himself, but he had no time and hadn't found a good place to release him. At this time, Qin Feng's eyes brightened as he stood on Coiled Snake Mountain and looked down at the unceasing river water below the cliff. Song River seemed like a pretty good place to raise Black Turtle. Its water ran into the Yangtze River, and the Yangtze River ran into the ocean. This way, Black Turtle could slowly grow in the Song River. After growing a bit, he could go to the Yangtze River. Then, after he becomes uninhibitedly powerful, he can advance to the ocean. Unlike on land, there are thousands and tens of thousands of living things, so danger lurked from all sides. By the time Su Ruoro brought the 28th bicycle down, Qin Feng already returned Black Turtle to the system. This guy gave Su Ruoro quite a fright last time. If he scared her again, she would be scared silly. With Su Ruoro in tow, Qin Feng rode the bike and sped across the roads. There was a slight night breeze in the valley. When he saw Su Ruoro shiver slightly, he hugged her tighter. "Ruoro, wait for me here. I also have to go relieve myself." They soon arrived at the foot of the mountain, so Qin Feng found a random excuse to go to the shore of Song River. He took Black Turtle out of the system. When he looked at the violent waves of the river and then looked at Black Turtle obediently crouched at his feet, he felt a bit reluctant to part with him. Though he'd only interacted with Black Turtle for no more than a week, Black Turtle was still a battle pet that he created. Thus, he could be considered his own flesh and blood. Wait, damn, if his own flesh and blood really looked like Black Turtle, Qin Feng swore that he would jump into the river and drown himself. "Black Turtle, you have to be careful. Many-banded Krite and Sea Turtle, you two have to help each other and make up for what the other lacks. I hope that when I see you again, you will have become the overlord of the ocean." He patted the sea turtle's shell and said his farewell. SSSSS. The many-banded Krite kept hissing at Qin Feng. Even the sea turtle that couldn't keep his eyes open and always looked sleepy swayed his head while looking at Qin Feng. "Master, they said not to worry. They'll miss you," Little Pig translated without needing to be prompted. "No banquet under the heavens lasts forever. I hope that when we meet again, we'll both find our own places." Qin Feng lifted Black Turtle and used his strength to throw him into the river. Black Turtle suddenly got excited and scuttled freely, frolicking down the stream. "Master, you don't have to worry. Things of the hedonist sovereign system have a special aura that only you, Master, can feel. As long as that aura is still there, that means that we're still alive," Little Pig said. Qin Feng used his senses and was able to clearly detect Black Turtle's familiar aura. Qin Feng felt reassured by this. No matter where Black Turtle was, he would be able to find him. When he returned to the road, Su Ruoro had a strange look on her face. She curiously thought to herself that Qin Feng could really hold in his urine. He took so long that he probably drowned the flowers and grass on the roadside. Qin Feng lifted Su Ruoro onto the bicycle. He didn't ride very quickly. Instead, he basked in the tranquility at the base of Coiled Snake Mountain. This tranquility was quickly shattered by a police siren. Flashing red and blue lights appeared not too far away, and they soon stopped in front of Qin Feng. A valiant, formidable, icy, and beautiful policewoman stepped from the car. The instant she saw Qin Feng, her eyes went ablaze. The first time Lu Bingbing saw Qin Feng, this brat publicly totaled a Maserati. From then on, she had a bad impression of Qin Feng and saw him as a hedonistic young master. The second time, Qin Feng participated in an illegal boxing match, killed someone, and got away scot-free. The third time, Haonan tried to run over him, but Haonan ended up dead instead. From the outside, it looked like he died from a car accident. After, the forensic scientist determined that the cause of death was a sharp object that cut through his head. The prime suspect was Qin Feng. However, due to the Qin family's power, he was discharged and awarded a Good Samaritan award. This was the fourth time Lu Bingbing encountered Qin Feng. She noticed that every time she saw this brat, nothing good happened. Once she had received the call reporting a crowd of racers at Coiled Snake Mountain, she hurried over. Then, she saw Qin Feng. Chapter 122. Chapter 122. Such an important matter. The old fire Lu Bingbing suppressed in her heart blazed with the new fire that arose. Without saying anything further, she handcuffed Qin Feng. You're under arrest for gathering a crowd for a street race. Come to the police station with me right now. Qin Feng looked laughingly at Lu Bingbing. Beauty Bingbing, take a look. Coiled Snake Mountain is so quiet that there aren't even people sleeping together. Where did you get the idea that there was a street race? Lu Bingbing's face turned to ice, and a flash of astonishment passed through her gaze. She also thought that it was weird. Someone had clearly called the cops, but once she got here, there was no one racing. The only person she caught was Qin Feng, and he was riding a bicycle. I don't care. Either way, someone reported it. Since you're the only person on Coiled Snake Mountain, I suspect that you were illegally street racing. Come back with me. Qin Feng could tell that Lu Bingbing was determined to arrest him. This little girl had an explosive temper, so Qin Feng didn't protest. Okay, I'll head back with you, but have someone take Ruoro home. Don't tell me you suspect that she also came to race? Lu Bingbing's gaze fell on Su Ruoro. When she saw how weak and pure she looked, Lu Bingbing was so frustrated that she gritted her teeth. She couldn't understand what was so great about Qin Feng that so many beautiful women enjoyed being with him. Of the women Lu Bingbing had seen, there were 3 beauties with different personalities: Yun Xiao, Han Ying, and Su Ruoro. If she knew about all the other beauties he had an ambiguous relationship with, she would be so angry that she'd want to bite someone. Xiao Hong, take this younger sister home, Lu Bingbing said to the policewoman standing behind her. This policewoman immediately helped Su Ruoro off the bicycle. Qin Feng. Su Ruoro looked worriedly at Qin Feng. Qin Feng patted her hair. Don't worry, this big sister and I are quite familiar with one another. She likes dancing, and she actually wants to take me back to teach her how to dance. You go back and rest early. Qin Feng. Lu Bingbing yelled coldly. She almost pulled out her gun and shot Qin Feng. Northern Sub-Bureau, Interrogation Room Number 2. Qin Feng leisurely sat in front of the table. This was his 3rd time here, and it felt like home. Lu Bingbing continued to have a cold expression. She faced Qin Feng and glared at him. Qin Feng, tell me, are you going to confess or not? Here was the same scene, the same people, and the same opening speech. Qin Feng was a bit helpless. Beauty Lu, can you please interrogate me a different way? You always take the same course and say the same words. I think that you're just fooling around to get paid. Lu Bingbing knew that Qin Feng had a way with words. She used all her might to suppress the rage within her. She viciously slammed the desk. Cut the bullshit and answer my question. I'm not confessing, Qin Feng actually responded. Lu Bingbing was so angry that she almost spat blood. Look, I was joking with you to make you happy, and you still got mad. Now that I'm serious and I follow your orders and answer your question, you're even more mad. AI. It's hard being a poor commoner. Qin Feng sighed and shook his head. Qin Feng, don't pretend. You're Acropolis #1 young master. How can you say you're a poor commoner? I think it's more accurate to say that you specialize in bullying commoners. Qin Feng was dissatisfied. If you say I'm Acropolis #1 young master, I appreciate you. But if you say I'm tyrannical and that I bully people, that's not true. Beauty Lu, you're mistaken about me, very deeply at that. I think we need to set apart a time to have some tea in this office, chat, and get to know one another. You must be aware of this. And since you've taken the initiative to invite me over countless times, this means that you're a good, qualified, and earnest cop. Qin Feng said this heartfeltly. You. Lu Bingbing was so angry that the hairs on her body stood up. She had never seen such a shameless person like Qin Feng. But Lu Bingbing couldn't beat Qin Feng in a physical or verbal fight. Now that she was angry, she could only suppress it. This was the first time she had felt so sullen since she became a cop. She was so annoyed that she wanted to combust. Her brain spun at high speed as she thought of how to deal with Qin Feng. Suddenly, an almost imperceptible crafty smile flashed through her beautiful and icy face. She left Qin Feng and minded her own business as she ran out of the interrogation room. Not 2 minutes later, Lu Bingbing anxiously ran back. She arrived beside the water dispenser and filled 2 cups, One of the cups had laxatives in it. Qin Feng, I'll go outside and consider this earnestly. I think what you said makes a lot of sense. Maybe I am biased against you. Now, I got some water. I'll sit face to face with you, so we can talk and learn more about one another. Lu Bingbing sat before Qin Feng and pushed a cup of water in front of him. Qin Feng looked at Lu Bingbing with a smile. Okay, Beauty Lu, tell me your height, weight, and 3 measurements. Lu Bingbing's expression fell dramatically. You think I'll tell you these things? Qin Feng waved his hand with seriousness. Of course Beauty Lu won't tell me these things. I can tell that you've come here in earnestness. This is just the most basic information, but you can tell me deeper things so I can get a deeper understanding of you. For example, questions like how often you wash your undergarments. Lu Bingbing wanted to kill someone. She underestimated Qin Feng's shamelessness. But, to get him to fall into her trap, she suppressed her anger like before. She slowly lifted her cup and took a small sip. Then, she smiled at Qin Feng. You're right, we have to come to a mutual understanding regarding these questions. Since you've said so much, drink some water first and I'll slowly tell you. Thanks, I'm not thirsty. Qin Feng smiled. Lu Bingbing's mouth tweaked. She wondered if Qin Feng already saw through her plot. She shook her head. That was impossible. She was very covert and dropped the laxatives outside before bringing it into the interrogation room. How could she have been discovered? Qin Feng, the mutual understanding I mentioned relates to the understanding of habits and rituals along with acknowledging achievements. Don't you think that wanting to know a woman's 3 measurements is a very base thing? Base? You said I'm base? Qin Feng became agitated and stood abruptly. He looked at Lu Bingbing angrily. His expression was full of seriousness. The understanding of so-called habits and acknowledging accomplishments you speak of occurs after admiring the other's beauty. Do you know how important a woman's 3 measurements are to men? It will make the man want to know this woman completely. He'll know her beauty. Though this beauty is external, it also hides the internal beauty beneath the clothing. This perfection will make men appreciate this woman even more. He'll want to do everything to get close to her, interact with her, and understand her. And you think it's base for me to want to know your 3 measurements? Chief Lu, you disappoint me. With a wave of his hand, Qin Feng shoved all of the documents on the interrogation room table into the ground. Lu Bingbing sat frozen in her chair, and her brain couldn't come to. She suddenly thought that Qin Feng wanting to know her 3 measurements was actually a really sacred thing. She quickly came to her senses and immediately bent down to pick up the documents. At the same time, Qin Feng smiled evilly and swied his cup with Lu Bingbing's. Chief Lu, my apologies. I was too agitated earlier. Lu Bingbing stood, and Qin Feng continued to have a serious expression. It was really a waste of talent for him not to be a face-changing magician. Oh, it's fine. Maybe because of the gender difference, our views on the matter are also different. Maybe you really meant nothing by it. As expected, Chief Lu is a person that does big things, has an open heart, and sees the bigger picture. I'll use water as a substitute for wine, and I'll drink to you. Qin Feng grandly lifted the paper cup and drank all of the clean water in one sip. At this time, Lu Bingbing began to feel guilty. She thought she was kind of petty and that she was using the public office to commit a private revenge. Chief Lu, why aren't you drinking? Won't you give me some face? Qin Feng said while looking earnestly at Lu Bingbing. Oh, no. I'm drinking. Lu Bingbing regained her senses. Since Qin Feng already drank, he could just be considered unfortunate. When his stomach starts to ache, she won't make things difficult for him, and will just let him go to the restroom to relieve himself. Then, Lu Bingbing lifted her cup with some regret and slowly drank the whole cup of water. Chief Lu is indeed refreshing. I can't help but admire you. Okay, let's get back to business and talk about why you've arrested me and brought me back to the interrogation room. Qin Feng changed his expressions too quickly. Lu Bingbing almost couldn't react. She couldn't help but feel that something was off. But what was off? She couldn't say. Then, the two returned to the interrogation regarding the street racing incident. Qin Feng's attitude was clear-cut as usual. No matter how Lu Bingbing asked, he insisted that he didn't street race, and that he only rode his bike there to admire the scenery. Lu Bingbing already knew Qin Feng wouldn't admit to his crimes. If this kind of shameless hedonistic young master easily admitted to his wrongdoings, Lu Bingbing actually wouldn't accept it. After all, that was why she decided to use other means to deal with Qin Feng. She put laxatives in Qin Feng's water so this perverted and shameless stinking man could get a stomachache. Then, she also wouldn't let him go to the bathroom to relieve himself, so he'd go in his pants, and his stinking reputation would be spread far and wide. That's weird. It's been so long. The laxative should be taking effect. So why didn't Qin Feng have any sort of reaction? Lu Bingbing blinked her large eyes and looked at Qin Feng in astonishment. Qin Feng had a smiling face and admired Lu Bingbing's beautiful features at the same time. "Hey, are you all right?" Lu Bingbing probed. "Why wouldn't I be?" Qin Feng laughed. "Does your stomach hurt?" "No." "Chief Lu, does your stomach hurt?" Right from the beginning, Qin Feng could detect something fishy from Lu Bingbing's previous attitude. Even if Qin Feng was beaten to death, he wouldn't believe that such a cold and fiery beauty would calmly discuss emotions. Thus, he suspected that there was something wrong with the water Lu Bingbing gave him. Lu Bingbing's question seemed to contain some sort of underlying meaning. Qin Feng guessed that she probably put something like a laxative in his drink. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.